All right. All right. Sent out the black signal to daily toaster list, not to the whole list this time. So we'll see how it goes. So I will be recording a message letting people know the differences between the list and how to get on each list. But I want to thank everybody that participated in Kwanzaa with us this year. Let me open up I want to open up. Let me see. We stream yo. All right, cool. Go to dashboard. Let me open up the chat. See if anybody is out there yet. But we are. Let me see. It appears. Want to make sure we are streaming on all engines before we. I just got the text that we are up on Facebook. Yep, we up on Facebook. On both Facebooks. We up on Stream.me. We up on Periscope. We up on, well, not quite on YouTube yet. It's working through. There will be a lot of changes with the whole YouTube process coming up here real shortly, family. Actually, YouTube and Facebook, because of some new laws that they are trying to get pushed through in the European Union, and since everything is like global, it's going to seriously affect your ability to use a lot of memes, a lot of music and stuff. So when you upload or when you streaming live, we may start running into some issues because people will be like, well, hey, I said that first and blah, blah, blah. So what we run into is a method of slowing down the dissemination of information. It's kind of good. It is, in some ways it's good for the artist, but in other ways it's horrible for the artist. Like all things, the sword cuts both ways. So I'm going to make sure that the chat is up. All right, boom. All right, no, the chat ain't come up yet, so we'll wait for a second. Let me refresh the screen, see what's going on with that. Okay, the chat is moving real slow this morning, so I apologize to anybody that's out there. Get my hair straight. All right, family, grab your glass, get your water. Let's get the song up. Let's run through what we need to run through, so that we could go on and have a discussion. Because all I got to say is Habari, Gani. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, some of y'all got the right response out there. I'm gonna say it again, Habari, Gani. Same to you, Aunt. How you doing today? Habari, Gani out there, family. And for us that's on the journey, we know that today is Kujichagulia for us. But far as the Kwanzaa celebration, we are on Habari, Gani. Say it. Come on now. All right, Day of Faith. We have entered the year of the number 3. We're about to blast it off, black family. Let's do this first. Make sure everything is straight. Let's check on Spreaker. Make sure everything is straight on Spreaker. Nah, I got to update that page. There we go. Shouts out to Brother Shaka. That was an excellent show last night. I didn't know you was going to try to make it all the way to 12 o'clock, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be clear with the family. Let us know what's going on. I didn't know you was trying to make it all the way to 12 p.m. 12 a.m., man. Come on now. We old, brother. I had to slip out for a second. I'm like, man, what is he? We only got 59 minutes left in the hour. What? Bro, you started at 9. Good God Almighty. Shouts out to everybody that stopped in to check out Brother Shaka and his artwork. And hopefully some of the music will be available. Because, it don't make no sense for us to be doing all this creation and not having some form of being able to stay in contact, right? Because like I said, this is a movement. You know what I'm saying? The libations. We got the music. We got a soundtrack that go with this. Gina G, can you look by the dresser, on my dresser on my side of the bed, and bring me my necklace, please? Thank you. Real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. So family, grab your glass. First, I want to welcome you to the congregation of Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Oh, starting it off good, anime. Good job, girl. Good job. This is a Heart of a Simple production. Of course, you know this is the daily toast and discussion because we got some free time. Oh, Simba, you making me so proud after all these years. Well, we strive to love your own paradise. I heard it from the babes.
Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Come on, drink your water. But first, take your breath and drink some water. Take a breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath, drink. My fault. Or should we say, breathe, then drink. Now grab your bottle of that water. Twist the cap off that water. Lift your glass and pour that water. Guess what now? Pour the water. Drink. Or should we say, lift, pour, then drink. Come on now, family, stretch it with me. Now move your body and drink some water. Stretch your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Come on, move your body. Drink. Or should we say, move, then drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Man, just raise your glass. Drink. Oh man. Drink, toast, drink. All right, let's run through it. Take your breath and drink some water. Lift and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Breathe, lift, move, drink. Breathe, lift and drink, move, toast. Take your breath. Lift and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Come on, drink that water. Lift and drink. Drink. Breathe. Move your body. Come on, fam. We gotta stay healthy. Drink. Family, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are in 2019, which means you have an opportunity for a new start, family. 2019, we want to welcome you. We're going to welcome you by toasting our ancestors, right? We got y'all hear all of the Happy New Year texts going out. People just waking up from last night. What a beautiful, beautiful time we had at Kwanzaa. What a beautiful time of the year for us. Today, for those that don't know, for Kwanzaa, today is Imani. For us, it's Kujichagulia. So we got a lot of stuff we got to go through. We want to thank everybody that participated in Kwanzaa. We want to talk about some of the principles of Kwanzaa, especially the principle of Imani. We want to talk about what it means to be in 2019, as far as the year of the three, for at least those of us in Gye-Nyame journey. And of course, we want to pour libations to those ancestors. We want to make sure our ancestors is getting those drinks on, right? Shouts out to Miss Kim Carswell. Happy New Year to you as well. Navita Nelson. She say Quasi Lowe, Shaka Siyoung Hasbury, Patai Ra, Christina L. Lowe, Terrence Julian, Scott Shedheadaru, Tahudi Sarah, Shelly I. Oh, she's sending out the black signal on Facebook. That's what's going on. But shouts out to Miss Navita Nelson. So family, we're going to drink up this water. We're going to get to the toast. And I'm going to open up the lines so that we can go have a nice little afternoon conversation. Because a lot of people is chilling right now. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might be recovering. Some of y'all might be sleeping in. Because that's that time of the year, right? I'm the Facebook black signal. Go ahead, girl. All right. Hey, I ain't mad at you. Because like I said, family, this is, and I want you to understand this is a year 3. We are in the 3 year. It's a year of communication. And if we master communication, then the next step for us will be real simple. Very simple. What's the next step after communication? Next step is order. One is interdependence. We did that already. 2 is cooperation. Learning to work, all the units work together, right? All of the units, all of the interdependent beings start learning to work together. That's that cooperation, right? Some work together, some don't, but we all learn to find where we fit. Now, the next step is the communication, getting our communication and our lines of communication, our networking abilities to work for us, right? Then we move into 4, right? And we don't need to talk about 4 right now. We just need to focus on the 3, right? So I'm going to open up the lines after we finish up. We're going to do the toast first because you know how I get. Because family be having stuff to talk about. We be having a lot of stuff, and we go in a lot of directions. And sometimes, we go into uncharted territory because we don't script the show. I don't have a lot of notes. You know what I'm saying? And in many cases, I don't have any notes for the direction that we go. This is the family show, right? When we come on and we talk about different things, we deal with different issues. Sometimes we fall out. Sometimes we come together. Sometimes we agree. Sometimes we disagree. But isn't that not what happens with family? You know what I'm saying? As long as everybody say. All right. Rules are very simple. We start off our day, and I know it's kind of late in the day for a lot of y'all, for a lot of us, because, I laid in bed until about 10 o'clock. I was trying to sleep in. The regular business of Gye-Nyame. Here, goddamn washer. We go out and get a new washer, and these new washers ain't worth a damn. How many of y'all remember the washers that used to have you put the clothes in and it wash it, and it didn't have a spin cycle? So what you had to do, you would have to let the water drain, and it had the little things that you would squeeze the water out, and you would have to wind it with your hands. You know, my aunt had one of those, right? And I used to always try to, I don't know, I was just dumb. I used to always try to stick my fingers. I wonder what happened if I stick my finger. I always was trying to stick my fingers in that shit. Thank God it never worked. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm like, damn, that washer ain't worth a damn. But anyway, I mean, you know, but we deal with it, you know. We deal with it. And but back to my point, which I don't remember. Oh, rules of the show, family. We start off by drinking water. We hydrate ourselves, and the libations we pour go inside of us, right? And I know a lot of people are not really familiar with that, so we call it toasting. We toast and we drink because we can't take care of our ancestors. We can't take how can I put it? We can't take care of anything else unless we take care of ourselves, right? So I'm suggesting that in this year, you start increasing your water intake. Remember, the easiest one to remember is half your weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, this means, how you doing, Sack Matt? If you weigh 100 pounds, this means that you drink 50 ounces of water a day. Good water. I mean, if you got to do sink water, do sink water. But I would highly suggest against it. And I don't even believe I'm saying this because I remember when they first came. I mean, I'm old as hell. I remember when they first came out with bottled water, and I saw somebody drinking bottled water, and I started clowning their ass. What is that? Water. You bought water? Nigga, I got water. Get out. Why are you even here? Who are you? Oh, think you somebody because you bought some fancy water. Man, go on, dog. You need to buy you some shoes. Now, after doing my research, I said, man, did you buy a smart washer? I had one of those front loader washers. Trash, never again, broken, was too expensive to fix. Wow, no, I ain't get the front loader. One of my sons, who was a physical trainer, just sent me a message. Maybe he watching this show. He says something about it's probably about the water comment I made. Man, post it online because I think you watching. Come on, Gino, don't be hiding. Nah, I ain't buying no smart washer. It's a dumb washer, a dumb lazy washer that every time it spins, it's like, I don't know, man. I just like the old. I don't know, the older ones. You could throw 100 pounds of pennies in there and it'll spin. I know you watching. Go on and put your info what you just put on there, because Gene works with the body and he probably could correct me if I'm wrong about the water. So he texted me. So let me see. Maybe he's on my Facebook page. Are you watching me on? What are you watching me on, Gene? Are you watching on Facebook? Because I can see your comments, but you texted me. I do. We want everybody to throw up their expertise on here, cause I do quick research. Let's see. Oh, there you go. I'm watching. The body is made of 65% water. It needs replenished. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I see you now. Let's see. Let me go on. I'm just putting those O's on there so to push the thing up so I can see. I'm watching. The adult body is made of 65% of water. It needs replenished on a consistent, regular basis because the water, it helps clean out the body. And one of the things that I keep telling people, family, a lot of us are not, a lot of the diseases that they are labeling, they put names on shit, when actually a lot of us are just suffering from dehydration. So now, the rules of the show are, we start off with water. Then we move to a health drink, right? I don't know what y'all consider health drink. I'm gonna be drinking some of that red ambrosia today. I got the red one right here. We're gonna pop it and see how that works out. We're gonna drink some of that red ambrosia. That's that ambrosia with wakacha leaves. That turns it kind of red and got a lot of minerals and stuff in it. So I'm going to be drinking on that today. And then also I'm going to make some coffee. Now remember, the 4 pillars of health, right? We toast. Now let me finish because I'm jumping around. First, we start off with water. Drink your water. Drink your water. Boom, 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 right? Motivate people. At least start their day off with some water. Then we move to the health drink. And we use the health drink to toast our ancestors. Then we complete the toast by drinking the health drink. Okay, so now we start our day off on a positive note. You know what I'm saying? We did a little breathing. If you ain't do nothing but take those 3 breaths. Right? Now, 4 pillars of health. As far as Gye-Nyame, breathing is number 1, the most important, the most overlooked thing, the most overlooked aspect of our life. Because it's natural. A lot of times you don't miss it until somebody punch you and you lose your breath or something happens and you can't breathe. But I'm telling you right now, family, start taking care of your breath. Start consciously breathing and really and feel the effect on your body when you do that. I mean, you get a sort of high. Every now and then, retain your breath. That means hold your breath. You know what I'm saying? Allow your body to start resetting itself. That breath is very important, and it helps along with the water to cleanse your body. So breathing is primary. That's the first pillar. Second pillar is the water, which we already discussed. And as my son showed, with his because this is his expertise, the body, the adult, he says the adult body is 65% water, and it needs to be replenished, right? So boom. Drinking that water, getting at least half your body weight in ounces every day, allowing that water to wash through and to nourish and to clean out. So a lot of the diseases that we're having, a lot of these autoimmune diseases are a result of us not breathing right and not having enough water. A lot of us are dehydrated and don't know it. Getting up, we drinking coffee. I mean, I know, and I'm guilty of it too. You get up. You drink coffee, you drink pop, you argue over whether Pepsi is better than Coca-Cola, you got Kool-Aid, you got pop on the job, you got chocolate milk, you got all this shit that everybody is pushing at you, when the most important thing you're overlooking. Because your body, because I want you to think about this, how hard does your body work to extract the water out of all of the stuff that you take? So why not just make it easy on your body and get water directly? Then you could drink all the other shit. I ain't saying don't drink the other stuff. I'm saying, family, just start off your day with half of what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like I start off every day with about 33.8 ounces. I'm using artesian. So I like spring or artesian. But distilled water, all that, I mean, water. You know what I'm saying? I would say everything but that sink water. Yeah, you know, just that. I'm very suspicious of that sink water. You know what I'm saying? The first sign of dehydration are dry lips. If you need chapstick, I got to put some more O's in there. Gina is on here dropping it. If you need chapstick, know that you need water. Goddamn. I got them big old lips, and I always need to be chapping up. I always got to have me some chapstick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not drinking enough water. So I might need to I might need to up my equation for myself. So the first sign of dehydration is dry lips. So when you start having to lick your lips, get you some water. Right? Now, let's move on. All right, family, here we go. Oh, we about to do this toast, and then we're going to move straight into the conversation. I lost my bottle cap opener, so I got to improvise. You know what? I think that this gunpowder tea, when I added the gunpowder green tea, I think that it really settled this brew down. Because y'all, those that's on my show, y'all know that it don't go down like that here at the Journey. This stuff be coming out aggressive. Let's see how it pours. You'll see, look how thick that is. I mean, the whole consistency is different. Just by adding a certain type of tea. Good grief. I like it. All right, so we're going to go and sample that after we do our toast. So first, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We lift up our glass and we salute the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. And we say, what, family? I say, that's right. From there, where do we go? Where do we go? We grab our list of our ancestors, family. And for those that want to put their ancestors on the list, text 772, text GNJ to 77292, right? And to send you back the information. Then you can go and put a text in there to let us know, or inbox us at our Facebook page. You know what I'm saying? GyeNyameJourney.com. Inboxes. I would like to put my ancestors on the list. Or you can inbox us on our YouTube page or even Periscope, because I check that every now and then. Or you can put it up on the timeline right here while I'm reading them, and I will read them afterwards. But I'm very diligent about taking care of our ancestors, because this is part of us tying ourselves together, right? So, it's awful cold in here. I'm starting off with our ancestors. Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert Tex, Hannah Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tiller, George and William Walter, Chris and Fanny Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Marco Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, of our Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman, Nomo X, Sepet Ra, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Burford, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carla Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Gail Pullen, the Luxor Brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Ritterman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weatherby, the Farmer, Agosa Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dixon, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, May Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keachler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bolden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mae Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells. Hey, Clay! Can you, the rice is done, can you hook up Shasha and Gina for me, please?
Say it again.
The rice is done. Can you hook up Shasha and Gina for me, please?
Yeah.
Wait, give me that. Hey, man, that's Tiger Bomb. Don't be messing with that, boy. Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Cleveland.
Yeah.
This would be good after you do your after y'all have basketball practice. It'll help get rid of some of the soreness. Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Delrita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinier, Elder Amitep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Trigg, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank and Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Dillamon Aries, Jean and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan, William Walter West, Nigella Parrish, Elder Basiji Falani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Waters, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Hadley, Elma Hines. Cleve, could you fill that little cup up of water for me, please? Remember the one from yesterday?
What little cup?
The cup so I could pour it in my...
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Wilson Hadley, Elma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Pintup Jr. Hey, Sasha, come here. One of your brothers that live in California, because you always talk about going to California, is on here. Come so he can see you. One day she'll be coming out to California to see you, Gino. All right, go on about your business. Roy Lee Pintup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Leon Peanut Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans, Sr., Sam Evans, Sr., Nalon Blair, Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sissenbaugh, Hazel Gatson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Bookie and Gypsy, Reverend Reservoir Word the First, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Urban, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donald Hill, Richard Cleavers, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Voy Irby, Jim Gaucher, Georgia Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox. Since y'all got all this energy, y'all need to be cleaning up. Claire Fox.
Is it food though?
Hold on. Yeah, George and Hallie Johnson. Dang, I'm so glad. Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becker, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Natalie, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford, Dawson Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Erlington Houston, Led Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bat Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton, Senior, Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown. Unbelievable. Ruby Brown. Charles Walker Sr., Charles Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shechem Aha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lourdes Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarine Cofer, George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon. And until I get my new book, because we still working on getting it, Joella Giles and James Carswell. Let me say it right. Carswell. All right. Proper breathing. Just from Gino. Proper breathing. Deep in through the nose. Nose hairs are filters for the environment. Out through the mouth, expanding the lungs, exercises the lungs, clears the mind and increases blood flow. What in the hell is burning, Cleveland? Cleveland, what is burning, man?
Mommy wasted some peanut butter soup under the stove.
All right.
Under the sink.
Shaka says, Happy New Year. CeeLo says, Ashe. Leave it alone. Okay, all right. All right, woo, man. She wasted it on what?
Under the stove. You know, under the...
Well, you got the oven on?
No, it's under the...
All right, well, you clean that off, man. All right, it's real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. We lift up our glass to our ancestors. I'm sorry. Ashe, somebody on the line breathing hard. Who is it? I know you there. Just calm down. Stop all that damn breathing. I got you. Probably that old Shaka Hasbury with them old broken glasses and that iOS system. Let's see. From our ancestors, we move to the present moment. Let's move through it real quickly. Today we are on self-determination. For those that don't speak the language, that's self-determination, which is Kujichagulia. In Kwanzaa, for those that's following us and not familiar with how we speak, today in Kwanzaa is Imani, but today, the day of the week, is Kujichagulia, which means self-determination. The demonic principle is justice. The color is indigo. Black shirt, as you can see. Correspondence is the Hermetic law. Male name today is Kwabena, and it's my day. It's your day, Kwabena and Abenan. Shouts out to all the Abenans because we have a lot of Abenans. Gina, you can put it right there on the floor. Gina is an Abenan. Tiandra is an Abenan. My fault. Abina. Gina is Abina. Tiandra is Abina. Navita is Abina. Who else? No, Sasha's not a Bina. You know what I'm saying? She ain't born on the coolest day of the week. This is, man, is the heat on? Is the heat on?
Yeah.
What is it on?
69.
Oh, hell no. Put that up to 75. We black. I'm sorry. All right, so in today, family, we lift our glass up to this moment, and in this moment is where our greatness is born. In this moment is where our greatness is achieved. In the moment, family, if we learn to focus on the moment in a proper fashion, we can accomplish anything. Let's work on the moment, because every moment that we waste is robbing our future generations. So let's lift up our glass to this moment, to live it to its fullness, and then we move to the future and we toast our future generation, our children, our children's children onto infinity. We salute them in advance, and when they're here, we train them so that they know what they are here. We train them and help them find their purpose so that they can bring it to the world and bring it to our community and make it a better place. And we make sure that in the moment we are able to build a foundation so that they can stand on. So we toast our future generations, letting them know that we doing the work. And we say Ashe. From their family, where do we go? We go to all of our relations. We toast them. We say Ashe. We lift up our glass for you. This is that selfish moment, family, because you can't fill anybody else's glass if your glass is not filled. On an airplane, when an airplane is going down, they say, please put on your mask first, then put on your children and other people's masks. So family, this is that moment right now. Put your mask on. What is it that you need? We call the ancestors on a daily basis, right? We working together on a daily basis. What is it that you need? Ashe. From their family, I toast the most beautiful, powerful, and most inspirational person in the room. The life changer, the world changer. I salute that person. And you know who that is? It's you. So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family, now we can get busy. Shaka, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that everybody here had an opportunity to check out my mini concert last night in my living room. It was fun, and it was an awesome way to bring in the new year.
Yes, it was, man. Well, actually, you cut off before it went into the new year, man. Didn't you? You stopped.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna stay on. And then nobody was talking to me, so I'm like, they must be.
I stepped out. I stepped out, and then you couldn't hear nobody from my watch party. That's why I kept on. Unless it was popping up on your screen, it wasn't popping up on because I was watching you on my computer and my phone. So I started the watch party, and people started coming in, and I started noticing that you could see that they was watching you, but you couldn't see their comments. So I started transferring their comments over to you, so that you can, you know, we got to work together. You know what I'm saying? Because I figured if I set up a watch party, because one, I couldn't share your link on my on Gye-Nyame Journey's timeline, and that's where I'm at anyway. So what I did was I opened up a watch party, and I was able to put that link into the timeline. And I wish I'd have known how to do it. And what's crazy is that you could do more with your phone than you could actually do with your computer. It is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you, Tim. I was like, it must just be on iOS. And then you got racist against my phone. I was like, man, damn, I was trying to explain it.
What? Oh, now all of a sudden you gonna pull the phone card on me. Go on with that shit, man. That old iOS. All right, but hey, hold on, so give me a second, family. Once again, I'm about to go on and show you how to Africanize your coffee. Now, because remember, 4 pillars of health for us in Gye-Nyame Journey is the proper breathing. And as Gene says, proper breathing deep in through the nose hair. The nose hair filters the environment out through the mouth. Now, I do the in through the nose, out through the nose. That's me. You know what I'm saying? But you can do out through the mouth as well. Now, that's the first step, proper breathing. There's a lot of ailments that proper breathing can help you combat. 2, proper water. A lot of us are suffering from dehydration. 3 is a culturally appropriate diet. What do you mean by culturally appropriate diet? Who are your people? Where are your people from? What were the staples that they used? Now, there's certain things that we can do. Like I know y'all like pizza because I was eating pizza last night. I know y'all like spaghetti. I know y'all like all that stuff, but understand a lot of that food is not culturally appropriate. And what do I mean by culturally appropriate? Your body was designed to consume certain foods. So in order to make it possible so that you can enjoy the universe of food out there, you have to eat a culturally appropriate diet. You have to add culturally appropriate things to your diet. So one of the ways that I've been working on doing that is sharing one of my little coffee recipes, right? So first thing is I said, man, listen, I'm gonna have to start making my own coffee. I like Speedway coffee, but ain't nothing like. Smell that? Y'all smell that? I can't wait till this. I mean, because the technology is coming. Y'all think I'm fucking around. The technology is coming where y'all gonna be able to smell what I smell. But there's nothing like fresh ground coffee, real coffee. You know what I'm saying? And what I have right here is a French press. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna make coffee right here, right now. So the French press is basically, it has a filter and it seals around this thing real tight, and it uses the vacuum type pressure to push all of the grounds out and so that you can have some fresh coffee. So what I'm going to do is, yesterday I did 2, so we're going to try 1 today. I'm going to do 1 scoop of coffee. I'm going to throw that in there. All right. I'm almost done, Shaka. Then we're going to get into this conversation. Because I know I got a lot of coffee drinkers out there, family. All right, so, of course, I got my little water, got my little fancy thing I usually would pour out of a pot, but I don't want to be that brash with y'all. You know, I got to put on an air of a sophistication. So I'm going to go and pour that in there. For some reason, I think I'm going to need a little bit more coffee, because that's not black. Well, damn, that is black.
Tim, you know you ever try to make kombucha coffee?
Hey, dude, I did that yesterday. I'm about to make it right now. Hold on. I ain't done with my recipe. So we're going to put this on top, and we're going to let it sit, and we're going to conversate for a couple of minutes, because, you know, Shaka already trying to beat me to my next product. You know what I'm saying? No, but great minds think alike. Unless you got a whole nother way of doing it. So I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to add some more coffee to that. I'm not satisfied with the blackness. What you think? What y'all think? Should I add more coffee or no?
Tim, you go all the way in on stuff, so why not?
Why not? Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Glad it's great to have people that know me. Like shit, I like my shit too black, too strong. Too black. Hey man, listen.
Give me the bottom of the cup.
Hey man, hold on, dude. The first night I did it, I put about 4 scoops in here, man. I woke up like at 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't. My daughters was in the bed with us and I couldn't sleep and they was kicking me and shit. And I woke up shaking and shit. I'm like, God damn, man, that's some strong coffee. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, we gotta do it. Gene, you out there, man? Are there any health benefits to coffee? I know it is. I'm just asking. He's a professional trainer, and I love when my sons and my brothers shine. Like Shaka with his whole, he got a whole different technique of making that kombucha, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. There is no tomorrow. Oh, I love Miss CeeLo. She will remember. Great and wonderful awakening. Okay.
I will say this. Back when I was I love my coffee too, Tim. Of course, after my heart event, I had to ease up on the coffee, and the June made it easy because I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is, but when you start drinking June on a consistent basis, you stop thinking about coffee.
I speak for yourself because I be drinking about coffee all the time. But go ahead.
But I will say this. If you suffer from cluster migraines, which I did since I was 11 years old, I don't get them anymore. And I'll simply say that, the reason I don't get them anymore had all to do with me reevaluating my diet and changing some things. However, for 20 or 30 years that I was getting migraines, I found a trick. And the trick was black coffee. If you feel a migraine coming on, before it sets on, drink a cup of black coffee. Because caffeine is the key ingredient in aspirin. Aspirin doesn't work on migraines because it takes too long to dilute into your bloodstream. But if within the first couple of minutes where you feel a migraine coming on, drink some black coffee. And, then the science behind it is that migraines are not headaches. It's head trauma. All right?
What?
The capillaries inside, it's head trauma. Capillaries inside of your head are closing, And that's what causes the excruciating pain of a migraine. And so what happens is that when you drink black coffee, caffeine causes those capillaries to open back up quick, and your migraine can be offset. It doesn't stop them from coming again. What stops them from coming again is a lifestyle change. Yeah, a lifestyle change. And you know what? Some of that had to do with me traveling too, because I was experiencing migraines a lot more in this Ohio Valley. All right, but when I moved to the East Coast, I didn't experience migraines as much as I experienced them in Ohio.
You know, a lot of people don't know we live in the valley. You
say what?
Until you leave here, you really don't realize that we actually do live in a big ass valley.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
means, for those that don't understand, that means that we get like there's a covering of the pollution. It's like stuck in a hole. You know what I'm saying? And unless some a massive storm come in, it don't move that air. So it's just sitting up above us. But hold on, let me do this real quick. Now, family, to Africanize the coffee, one of the things that I've been using. Now, some people use MCT oils, which is basically a more concentrated form of coconut oil. They just isolated certain things. I like coconut oil. So I put some coconut oil in my coffee, so I could go and get my little piece of my little Africanation up in here. Now, for those that want to call, because the lines are going to start getting full, the number is 614-556-4535. Once again, the number is 614-556-4535. If somebody on Gye-Nyame Journey could type that in for me, because I'm going to try to get to it real quick. But I hear the lines filling up now. With the French press, you got to let the coffee sit and soak in a little bit. Then we're going to press it. But we're going to sip on this and have some more conversation. Somebody has joined us on the line. Who else is on the line?
It's Kim. Kim Bamboo. I just called you from my Skype telephone number.
Wow. Girl, you got, this one says California. Kim Carswell?
Yes,
listen, y'all, this woman is bad. Listen to me, this woman is bad. She calls from Africa, and it be in Chicago, say Chicago. Now this one say California, so how can I be down? I mean, I'm like... But
it's a local number.
Okay. So, here we go, family. So now, Shaka put on his show last night, and it was a beautiful. But the replay is up, so when you get off, those that missed it, you can get on it. You know, and it was a beautiful event, Shaka. You put it on. Oh, and also, since Shaka brought it up, for my coffee, another piece that I add ambrosia to my coffee. Yes, I do. Yo, yeah, there we go. And this is a thick ambrosia. This is like syrup. Lord have mercy. All right.
What?
You said what?
Yeah, I said what?
This ambrosia is like a syrup. The one I did, the latest one I made. I made this one around the solstice, man. So I don't know whether it was the solstice. I don't know whether
I don't know whether I woke up early this morning and I was waiting for the toast, man. This was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was waiting to hear some activity from somebody. I ain't hear it though, so I ended up putting my start boiling my tea, start steeping my tea, and then the black signal woke me up. I had 3 gallons in when I put it on, and I went in the kitchen. I got 2 gallons of tea going on right now.
That's cool, man. I mean, it's like, because like on these days right here, I'm losing track of time. I'm trying to get as much sleep as possible because I'm gonna have to really put it in during the school when school start. So I'm resting. I'm getting ready. You know what I'm saying? Because the work. You know what I'm saying? Because in a sense, Kwanzaa season for me is vacation. Even though I'm doing a lot of work, it's vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot of work. It's a vacation for me. And it's like, boom, this is all the work that we done did. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, blah, blah, blah. Now I have to start working towards the next Kwanzaa. You know what I'm saying? It's like, boom. But right before Kwanzaa, we got the Malcolm X Festival. We got some other festivals that people are talking about. And also, the next step in 2019, in the year of communication and building networks, is I have to start a market, because you can't have you can't have a tribe, you can't have a community, you can't have a nation without a market. When you look at all of the great African empires, they were built on trade. They were built on controlling trade, which means they had massive markets. And you got to ask yourself, when you look in the black community in any city, where is the black markets? Where's our markets? Where vendors can go and set up. And, and like I said, we only going to do it once a month. I would love to be able to build up and have enough people to do it every weekend, so that we can have fresh produce going out, so that we can have people getting stuff. I mean, I would love for people to come in that have meat that they bring straight from the farm, and we could do it all year round, inside and outside. But like I said, and I'm looking at our history, and I'm hearing a lot of people talk this economic shit, but we're not building, because when you listen to people when they talk about economics, a lot of time is, well, we all got to put in money, and or you have to do it independently. But as a community, the group has to have a place where we control the exchange, where the exchange happen, and we don't how can I put it? We don't have to make money off of every exchange. What we have to be able to do is to offer people a space for the exchange to happen, and in a sense, charge rent for the space, an affordable rent where everybody can afford to do it, but yet the group makes it come up, because one, we got those entrepreneurs connecting with different customers, and then on top of that, the group controls the space in which things happen. And then what also happens at a market that's very important. Miss Kim, do you go to a market?
Yeah.
Do you go to a market where you are?
They have, the local markets where they have the produce. I do. I go there and I buy my produce at the local market. They have the supermarkets, also where they sell imported things. So I do a combination of both. And they have a lot of vendors, little fruit vendors that I always go to. But I kind of always make it my business to put money into local wherever I am. So I always do local markets. Yeah, I do.
Family, listen.
As opposed to a supermarket, because supermarket basically is going to be, big business and people who have connections. And so that money really doesn't filter down to the regular folks.
And the question that we have to ask is, where is our market? See, because think about this. You got the stock market. What else happens at markets that is important for a community? And that's the question I'm putting out on the chat, and I'm putting out to my two guest people that's here. What are some other important things that go on in a market?
Markets are, I can just get my experience with markets. You guys don't know this, but my husband and I kind of started something in Senegal in 2015. And my husband makes wine from African fruits, not from grapes. He makes it from African fruits. And he's been, doing this, like I said, in Senegal since 2015. And part of the reason why he's been able to hang in there is because of the market. If it hadn't been for the market, then it would have been much harder to get the word out.
Get the word out. See, understand, family? Mm-hmm. What happens at markets is that information is exchanged.
Yeah, you on top of that. That's so true.
Yeah, you know what? Here in Cleveland, at the Shaker Square, and Shaker, Shaker Square is in the suburbs, y'all.
I knew it. Are you old bougie iOS using? Oh my God, the truth comes out. You can't hide it, man. Can't hide it. But go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your bougie self. I'm sorry. I know how you bougie people get when you get interrupted. But go ahead.
But and it took them a long time to get this thing together, this marketplace where people started realizing that this weekend marketplace does not stop. So you have Amish folk that come out and bring their goods. You have we got a black family here that raises up, that makes their own honey. A little bit pricey, but yeah. But the thing is, and you got a dude here who sells kombucha there. Now, I've never rented a booth at this spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every time I come, I let people taste my Red June, and I distinctly decided that I wasn't going to become a part of this market because they already had a kombucha dude, right? And so I went there a couple of weeks ago. And this local actress that I know, her name is Maya Jones. She sees me at the market, and she's like, "Hey," she saw me performing there. She's like, "Hey, I heard you got the bomb kombucha." I was like, "Well," I said, "You be right." She was like, "You got Cash App?" I'm like, "You're damn right." So it happens like that. You're right. You're absolutely right. The other piece is that, and I'm saying this because peep the technique. One of the organizers came to me after I was performing. She was like, "You need to be here. Like, you got a product, and when you bring that to the mix, you need to be here." I was like, "Well, you know what? I didn't want to do the kombucha because you got a kombucha dude." She was like, "No, we man 5 sites in Cleveland that are constantly changing. So if if I came and I had a booth rental, I get to choose if I'm going to be on the east side or the west side this week, if I'm going to be in the hood or the suburbs this week." They got 5 sites that are thriving because they cycle their vendors into different spaces in the community. So like on the fourth Saturday, I might end up at Shaker Square. But on the first Saturday, I might be on the west side somewhere. And so that's the move, man. I would invest in that.
Markets are the way to go. They do some markets here in Burkina Faso, but they don't get they don't have the level of money here, and they don't have the level of foreigners here to bring in, additional currency. But in Senegal, which is on the coast, they do have a lot of foreign currency, and you do have a lot of traffic there. And the markets are really big. They're having lots of markets, and you have more people getting into it. Because it's cheaper than renting a location, and then if it doesn't work out, you can move the place out. Right. So it's really the way to go.
Because and like I said, man, if you look at the development of kingdoms or empires, it starts and countries go to war about exchanging resources and taking over others' resources. So those markets are very important. So when we start talking about developing our tribe and developing communities, what are the markets that we frequent? If it's Walmarts, then we could never build because all of the money is going out of our community into one family's hands. We have to start developing mechanisms where we can start exchanging information. Because think about this: if you had a market once a month, and we was able to have a market, and we had so many booths, and we could bring in entertainment, we could bring in speakers. But all of the vending spaces are affordable. So now we got a certain individual that has a great product, and he don't have to waste his money on overhead to rent a space from somebody that he knows is going to be gouging him. I don't need a space 7 days a week. I need a space maybe once a month or maybe once a week. You know what I'm saying? So that I can get my information, get my stuff out. You know, far as me and Shaka doing, he do the June, I do the Ambrosia. We don't need a space all the time. We just need a place where we could set up and we could do our stuff. The musicians don't need an office space all the time. Some of the clothing vendors don't need an office space all the time, especially those that travel back and forth and stuff like that. They just need a place where the people know that at this time we will be dispensing our stuff. And what happens is information is exchanged in there, which means that people are able to grow. People get to know stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's like sometimes we look at some of our traditions and be like, oh man, that's archaic. You know what I'm saying? But Walmart's is a market that's capitalizing on the fact that people need to go shop. And we have lost what shopping was about. Shopping wasn't just about us getting food. Shopping was about us getting the latest scoop. Shopping was about us meeting somebody new. You know what I'm saying? Shopping was,
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but we talk about building community, but yet we jump over the very fabrics, the very stitching that holds communities together. I don't like him, but I like his soap. I'm gonna need some of that soap. Here, I'm gonna send my daughter over to get that soap. I don't want to deal. I don't like talking with him, but make some good soap. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I think you're absolutely right, especially now in the .com era, because you have a lot of people who order stuff online. So when you order things online, you skip everything you talked about, all that stuff. So you skip it. You sit on your phone or on your computer and you order. But a lot of people want that experience, so once a week, they're not going to go to the supermarket after work because they're tired. But once a week, Saturday or whatever, you will go to this market. You will take your time and you will do that with your family and enjoy it. And I think that's part of the appeal at this present time with markets.
Because like I said, the way I want to set it up, because I got a lot, I have access to a lot of space. I have to get some clearance and get some permission, which in a sense I have already gotten because I spoke about this and I've been thinking about this. And I think this is the year to put this in motion because we have young people that's old enough to run it, because what I want the young people that's managing the market to start learning is to learn the business, being able to measure out the space, being able to collect the money, being able to do business, and being able to pay themselves from being able to control so that they can actually see what nation building is about. Nation building ain't just about getting up and talking. Nation building is about being able to gather resources so that you can make other stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes time for Kwanzaa, I don't have to do as much fundraising during Kwanzaa because all of the fundraising will have been done at the market. You know what I'm saying? We'd have raised the funds at the market already for Kwanzaa, for Malcolm X. So when people come, you know what I'm saying, even if they want to give, we could put something where they could give more, but they have already given by renting the space. They have already given by supporting a vendor, and this vendor is coming back, and we'd be like, well, hey, we was only charging $15 for the space last time, but we could guarantee you a bigger crowd, so we gonna move it up to $25. Is that all?
Oh wow!
You see what I'm saying?
That's definitely the way to go. I mean, you definitely are on what's relevant now. I think so. That's definitely the way to go.
And
Tim, especially since we've had events in yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that we will all come up a little bit better this year if we were able to offer a package deal for the vendors to be able to, have kind of a space in all of them.
Listen,
would that be?
I'm talking $20 per vendor for the space.
What?
For 1 day or 2 days?
I'm talking this for the market. The market would be 1 day. and I got to figure out whether it'll be a Saturday or a Sunday. Now I want to. I got to do push-ups. Oh my God! It will be either. Dang, I got to do the push-ups. It'll either be a Kuumba or Imani. Right now, during football season, it will have to be Imani because the football take precedence for the space that I want to use during that time. But all football season, we could do Kuumbas, and we could do something like 12 to 6 p.m.
Well, time out. Is there nothing that we bring to the marketplace that would benefit a football game?
Oh, see now, but the issue is the football audience is a totally different audience, and you're right because I thought about that, and I probably could mix it. And I probably would try to experiment with that, but the football audience that's coming for the kids is a totally different audience, and there'd be so much going on in the school that I wouldn't want the confusion to take away from either one. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have a partnership with we got a partnership with the football people. So if I got vendors on the inside and there's some vendors selling food, that would conflict with the contract or the agreement that we have with the people that's running the football thing because they get to control the food. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want to have any conflicts. So I would have to move our day to Imani so that we could go and do our thing because I want the focus to be the market and the entertainment that we will bring into the market. So after a couple of weeks, after a couple of months of doing it, we will be able to bring in quality entertainment so that when people come in, you know, we got live bands playing. You know what I'm saying? People come in, we got speakers that we was able to bring in just for the market so that they can sit down and they can learn something about the culture or have discussions that they usually wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So that we can start that, we get that whole vibe going rather than waiting just for Kwanzaa, which is important because it's a culture stabilizing holiday. But I'm thinking that we need to have something 12 times a year at least where we are able to bring the community together. Not just Columbus, but, you know, because if you're charging a booth rate as cheap and as low as we're talking, we will have people coming from Cincinnati, especially if they start hearing that we got 300, 400 people coming through in that 6-hour period. So you mean I could rent a space and possibly get this money between 12 and 6 for this small amount? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, boom. I'm just like, yo, so we can have people from Cleveland or whatever because they will be able to put it on their calendar. They'd be like, boom, this Kuumba will be, this will be happening. And also because I need those that are in Gye-Nyame journey that are involved with me to start hearing me because I need us to actually sit down and really start putting a pen and plan the weekends that we are going to do this for the rest of this year. I want this to be the year we start, and I would love to do one within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And on top of that, as adults, we'll sit down and we'll map it out, and then we'll bring in the young warriors and start letting them know this is your job, this is your responsibility, this is your business. So part of our warrior training, one weekend in our warrior training will be totally dedicated to taking care of the facility, getting it ready, and then breaking it down after everybody leaves. And then if there's any residual income that comes in from what we do, the young people can actually partake in getting that money. But I just need them to understand that a major portion of that money is going to be going towards us being able to pay to bring the talent and to bring the education to the community on a monthly basis. I got to call Kojo. He's been calling me. I ain't called him back yet. But Kojo, you need to be, if you're on my show, man, call in. 614-556-4535. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to just take up the whole time with that, but you know, for me, that's what my piece is because part of cultural stabilization is Ujamaa. All the principles got to be in action. Ujamaa, and I've been noticing, I'm like, damn, there is There is no markets. I'm talking about, and when I say, and I don't want nobody to get upset with me. I'm talking about a market up under our control. Where we, as a group, control. You know what I'm saying? We don't control Walmarts. We don't control Kroger's. Right? We don't know how many of our relatives or how many of our family members could show up with some fresh peppermint or spearmint out their garden to sell. We don't know. We don't know how many of our people are actually brewing honey. We don't know. We don't know how many of our people actually have enough surplus left in their garden to bring out and be like, look, man, I got way too many tomatoes. Here's a carton of tomatoes for $1. We don't know how many of those. We don't know how many got old shit in their house that might be useful to somebody else. We don't know how many people may have clothing that they're getting from the continent, or clothing and stuff to sell. We don't know how many people are making soap. We don't know how many people have products that can be sold in this surrounding area, that if we provide a space, that we might be able to fulfill almost every need of our community. I'm just saying. And why we got a space, and then be able to bring in talent like you. You know what I'm saying? Shaka going to do a show. It's not going to be a 3-hour show, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be a 3-hour show, family. You know what I'm saying? But Shaka get to come in and put together his crew, and we actually have some money that we can go and be like, all right, boom. This is the stipend we paying for this right here. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna work it out. You could do your symbiotic cipher. You know what I'm saying? We could bring somebody else in. We could bring other people in, and we could actually start financing the talent that we believe need to be supported in our community, and they have a place to go and perform. You know what I'm saying? How many of these young rappers got lyrics that we talking about we need our kids to listen to, but we don't provide them with a platform to actually perform this stuff in front of the community, so some of the elders be like, look, I'm going to support you, dude. I don't even listen to that music. I'm going to buy $100 worth of your CDs right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to send you money right now because I like the message that you have, and I want to keep you doing that. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I mean, it was not that simple, but you know, somebody else called in. But I'm sorry.
Let me say this. Let me say this, just so I make sure that you understand the vision of the symbiotic cipher. The symbiotic cipher ain't just a performance. It's the experiential piece that you're talking about. It's the fact that, you know, during the performance, you gonna get the mic to be able to talk just the way you is, and the musician's gonna play off of you. Audience gets the opportunity to be a part of the performance. Like, I don't know if you picked up on it, but last night there was a lot of call and response on my performance. Like, you know, so hopefully, you know, y'all was y'all paying enough attention to be able to sing back to me in certain points. And that whole thing, so everybody is a part of the performance. And you might not be the one that's handed the mic to be able to speak every time. Sometimes it might be another barber. Sometimes it might be somebody who, you know what I mean? So the piece is that everybody in attendance is a part of that piece. So that when we, you know, so when we're taking video of it, that's also promotion for your stuff. Because we might have, like, just like when I used to host the open mic, we might have a thing where I get the dopest lyricists, or I'll get lyrics, right? And I'll say, oh, your lyric, today I want you to do a freestyle about those microgreens over there, and that microgreens booth over there. And he does a whole freestyle, and everybody done caught that 30 seconds on their phone, and now you got a commercial that goes out on those microgreens, right? At the symbiotic cipher. Every week, though, that type of monster media gets an opportunity to be developed on an organic basis, and for us to be able to each one teach one on a regular basis. And in the meanwhile, while you're doing these shows, like, you know what? I was really hyped when you was playing my music behind the conversation, because it has a purpose. It has a, you know what I mean? If you listen to that conversation in the way that that background music has a way of pacing our conversation and allowing people
That's
to
true.
ingest.
And I will
You know
be
what I
able,
mean? So,
I will be able to expand on that. That will start back when I'm not doing call, because when I do call-ins, I really can't do it right now because y'all are on the same speakers that the music is on. But I'm going to expand.
yeah,
I'm about to expand. No, I ain't. That iPhone, man, going with that. I'm about to expand. I'm about to expand my little table. I'm gonna get me another laptop. I'm gonna get me some more speakers so that I can do that. Because the piece that
you need a culturally appropriate smartphone, bro.
that ain't iOS. That's that Android. That open source. I don't just got one group of my people working on my stuff. I got a whole bunch of people. And plus, I like to keep my spying down to the minimal. So I could have because what you do, you got right now, you're probably using a Microsoft type computer or something like that. You probably can't use that old ass iOS system you got. So you being spied on by Microsoft, and you possibly might be using Google and iOS. I like to keep the people that spying and prying on me down to a limit. So I'm just totally spied on by Google, and Google will get upset and stand up for me if they find out that somebody else is spying on me, because everybody likes to be territorial. So, I feel kind of protected with the spies of Google spying on me. Everybody want to claim their space and stuff. So, but you being spied on by three or four, while I only got one major spy on me right now.
Right, thank you.
I just wanted you to just know. I just wanted you to know that. All right. And Kwame called me a hater because I'm constantly dogging that. Kwame also, he answered. He said, "No, this is Sister Navita." She said networking. As far as the markets,
what happens at the market?
Brother Kwame say markets are an exchange of information. Markets are an exchange where you exchange stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where we exchange ideas and stuff like that. And hell, who knows what type of ideas some of our young people might come up with that we might be able to actually start investing in. As far as
I'm gonna tell you something else that happens at markets, though, man. One of the most historical markets here in Cleveland is called the West Side Market, and it goes back to the beginning of Cleveland. You know what happens there?
What?
Is that you got a lot of first generation folk that's bringing their produce over, and you look at it and you're like, mangoes. Ooh, let's go to the mango guy. And you like, let me get these mangoes. And the dude's standing behind a big pile of fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's standing up on a little pedestal, and what you see is him taking every piece of fruit that you done picked and putting it in the bag. And then at the very end, he ties up the bag and gives you the fruit. Guess what? When you get home, you realize that those 8 mangoes that you handpicked is still at the marketplace because he done switched it off with the bruised ones that he wasn't going to be able to sell.
Shut up. Oh, you want that one, and that one. That's an old market trick. That ain't just Cleveland. That's that market. You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta come back. They closed already. They closed. I'm gonna get him a piece of my mind. By that time, you done forgot. You come back. Hey man, I want 8 more Mount Mango. It was something I needed to talk. Oh, don't worry about. You want this one, that one?
Hold on. I don't speak English. Thank you. I do not speak English.
I got another mango.
Go to my cousin. He speaks better English than me. You probably like his mangoes better anyway.
Somebody else is on the line. Somebody else is on the line. That looks. I ain't.
You still don't know my phone number yet?
I know your number, Miss Navita. What's going on?
Anyway, what's going on, everyone?
What's going on?
Hello, Happy New Year.
Same to you. As far as the marketplace thing, I think I'm looking forward to working on that with the members of Gye-Nyame journey. And one of the things that I thought about as we grow with the marketplace, because some of the people who have talked to me before in regards to similar marketplaces, they're like, well, you got like 6 people selling shea butter, and when we get going and moving, I would like to see it be a variety of things, like how Tim was saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be just like shea butter, African clothes, or whatever. It could be somebody selling insurance there, somebody, doing, just not just African clothing, but any clothing. It could be somebody selling
legal
whatever. It doesn't always have to be the shea butter, oils, dashiki stuff.
No, you're right. You hit the nail on the head. That's what I found, because like I said, my husband sells wine, and we're luckily in Africa, they don't have anything like liquor license. So he sells in markets. And and you see a lot of people in the market who don't really sell that well in markets because they're all selling the same thing. You got to take several tables of honey, several tables of shea butter, African cloth. It's like, it gets redundant. I think what we can do is motivate people to use their creativity to take those raw materials and make them into something different, so that it's not just a tube of shea butter, or you know what I mean. And then they'll make more sales with the market. And if it's the same thing,
right?
Then oil and shea butter. And now, I hate to say it, but you can buy oil and shea butter in Walmart.
Right.
That's not, you don't have to just get that at the African market now. That is mainstream.
100% mainstream. Mm-hmm. So you have to find, because part of the selling is you're not just selling the product, you're selling you. So because listen, if it's 5 other booths with shea butter, what makes your shea butter stand out from everybody else's? See, because what I'm gonna offer is a cheap place for you to come and be able to sell your stuff. So if you want to complain because other people are selling the same thing you selling, you can't complain to me, because the question I'm asking you is, what are you doing different? If somebody sing, why don't you bring in the singer? Can somebody bring in the singer? Why don't you help us sponsor one of the musicians, or sponsor the speaker, so that you can have a prominence on when we start distributing the information about the people coming to speak, because we're going to have people with repeat products, but you got to learn how to stand out, because just having a place and just sitting there, you know what I'm saying? Just sitting there so that people come sit. No, are you a good conversationalist? Are you able to engage the people as they walk by you, other than your product? Yep. Can you talk about other things? I done bought shit from people that I didn't need because I like them. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Do you now? And also, this is another issue that I have with a lot of people that complain. Well, I sell shea butter and we didn't have enough people, or I sell art and we didn't have enough people. How many people did you invite out to come see this event? Right. Or like, for example, because part of one of the reasons that we're going to be able to do the market so cheap is this, that all of those people that are coming to the market, we are expecting you to bring your customers.
Well, you should promote your own stuff.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't depend on me to promote. I'm going to promote the marketplace.
Right.
But in turn, you should be promoting, I'm going to be at the marketplace on Boom.
There you go.
That's true.
Hey, I don't know why I'm mentioning it. You just tapped on something else. And just check it out. So I remember when I used to, when I had the whole Soul Star Together, and the way I did that was I provided my members with contracts to be able to teach in the youth arts program that I was teaching in. So that's how, Dion Custer got the contract to do the literary arts, and BHB got the contract to teach breaking and break dancing and DJing at capacity. And so the whole piece is that we all, do our individual workshops, but then we stand together as a arts ensemble for the community. Now, when I brought Afalia into the mix, of course,
she was at
Afalia,
Kwanzaa this year. She was at the first Kwanzaa.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Wow, man. So she wasn't necessarily interested in teaching African dance, but because the thing is that she was brought into the mix before we were called Soul Star. We were called The Message, and she's a lyricist, she's a singer, she's a dancer, and she's very dynamic.
Put something on the wall.
And so that's why I had her up in the mix. And I had and when she wasn't available for it at all, another sister slid in the mix and tried to take her place and was like, well, I teach African dance and I do this or whatever. I'm more qualified to be able to do that in the first place. I don't understand, why you got a preference. You know what I mean? We talk about community or the community, why you got a preference, basically. And I'm like, because it's all in the attitude, which is why I never contracted you. Because you're trying to beat me over the head for a decision that I made, trying to force yourself into my unit, and that ain't how it works. And so, some people just got to watch the way that they present, or what it is that they present. Because even if you do have the superior thing, you can have a college degree in African dance, but if your attitude sucks, I'm not recruiting you into a community that's about positivity. You already told you, you know what I mean, that it's all about a selfish intent. And I get it. Sometimes, what she said might have been vital somewhere, just not in that conversation.
But Brother Kwame get the idea. He says, my shea butter smells like chocolate. You see, he got the idea. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, and it's like, yo, because listen, people don't even understand the extent that I'm talking about. Inside, we will have enough room for, y'all all seen the space. If we was to put people in every hall, all the way down, we may have enough room for 100 vendors. If we was to take one of those rooms on the side, we would have, you know what I'm saying? We have even more. I got a whole lot of space, and all you gotta do is sell your product. I got a lot of room. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, also telling the elders, hey, why don't you come out here and do your walk once a month? You know what I'm saying? Because you can walk through, you might see something you want. You can walk from one end of the hall to the other end of the hall, and then when it's warm, we got a quarter-mile track that people could walk around. We got a quarter mile where we could start setting up booths when it's nice and warm outside.
And I would like to see in the marketplace some services that are provided at the marketplace. For example, if we was able to get one up and running in the next 3 weeks, we could, because I know a person that has their own, and you do too. I know a couple of people who are their own income tax service. This one brother, he designed, how they have the TurboTax?
Right.
He designed his own version of that. And it's his, and he owns it. And he does taxes, and he also sells the program to other people if they want to use it to start their own tax business. But, this is a big year, time of the year where people will be doing taxes. And I say instead of giving it to them people, if we had during the marketplace, you could come in a certain room, the brother pay his fee for being there, and because it's all you do is his laptop, and he could, do some people's taxes while they're there. You know what I'm saying? You can have people do different services.
No, that's a good idea.
Things while they're at the market.
Right.
That's a really good idea.
I don't think it has to be the whole. It's like when people think of the marketplace, I don't want it to. I would like for it to not just be, okay, we just gonna get shea butter today, or we just gonna get this today. I want people to realize, you can only buy so much shea butter. The next time you come, you still got shea butter, so you don't need it.
Right.
So now, it's everyday services sometimes.
Like, hey, how?
Hold on, Miss Kim.
What did you say, sis?
No, I said educational services.
Yeah.
Tutoring services.
Yeah.
Things, prep, language.
Right.
There's educational services. Because your price is low. It's $20, and even if you're there explaining what you can do, signing people up, and then later on, you do the tutoring. So, you got an excellent price point.
Right.
Babysitting services. There are services for the elderly. So, that would be perfect for that.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm not playing. Because someone always needs some child care services.
Tim, one thing outside of just this marketplace conversation for the event marketplace is I want you to pay attention. Like where you get your hair cut at, it's a whole other side to that's got nothing but showcases that right now are empty.
Right.
Now, here's the piece. You had enough vendors to be able to put their stuff on consignment in the local barbershops. Understand that the function of the barbershop is able to capitalize on what they do. If people are using those products, in how long do you spend at a barbershop every time you're there?
Man, I'll be there about 3 hours. Cause my barber, he always got it. I'll be like, God damn it, man, I can't even make
How
an
many
appointment.
How many times have you bought food from the barbershop?
When the girl's with me, I gotta buy it all the time anyway. But you moving on to something else. I want to keep it on.
Okay, go ahead. My bad. I just wanted to make sure that. My bad. I just want to make sure that you understand who you got in your network right now.
That's true.
Al Edmondson is
That's my
the
grandson's
CEO.
barber. So
Yeah, he is the founder of the African American Barbershops Association for Ohio. All right, so a coalition rather for Ohio. So when it comes to these types of things, and it comes to the types of events that they're trying to encourage to bring up more of a marketplace inside of the barbershop, I think you it, brother. So let's back out of that and go back to our regularly scheduled program.
I'm just saying, man, because it's like, because what happens, because this is what happens a lot of times. We start sharing good ideas, and then we start expanding. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm focusing in on the marketplace, and if we're going to talk about something else, let's just kill the marketplace conversation right now and move on. But I'm sending out the black signal today to all of the adults of Gye-Nyame. I think that even though we're not going to have the regularly scheduled meeting on the 5th, on this Kumba coming up, I think that we might need to get together. Actually, I want us to get together so we can start putting together the curriculum for this coming year, because part of our curriculum is going to be entrepreneurship. And not just, no, they're going to learn by getting messed up. They're going to learn by losing money by us doing this marketplace. We are going to throw our children into the hustle as well as ourselves. And I'm telling you right now, something big something bigger than any of us may have imagined may be coming out of this. But go ahead.
I just want to say that I spent a lot of time this past summer putting that exact curriculum together. So I need for you to have it in hand before Friday. I need for Tawana to have it in hand, for Lady J, for Sister Tiandra, because I'm really trying to establish or reestablish a presence there. And the only way I'm able to do that is if I can come and work. So I have a whole a 10-week curriculum that if it's tethered from one space to the next, it's already broken down to how many you can be a part of each other workshop within the series. So we're dealing with entrepreneurship. We're dealing with the whole symbiotic culture and arts management, being able to take your craft from one place to the next through community. So it's all intentional in a mix. It's called the Black Phoenix Institute. And I need to get that to you like yesterday. So if I can get the email addresses of those folks that I just mentioned, I could even shoot it out to y'all right now. And anybody else that's interested in it, that's in, that works with young folks at whatever capacity in the community, I'd like to shoot this out to you and get it moving.
All right.
Okay, well, Hi Tim, also, when as far as the marketplace piece is concerned, you had, Shaka mentioned something about the barbershops. I was in, I want to say Pittsburgh, and they had this, it was real dope. Now, I don't know if anybody would be willing to do it, but like, you know how we had the stage with the band? They had a stage set up where it was like 4 stations, and people sat there outside. This was during the summer, and they cut folks' hair right there on the spot. And people could sign up, and they could get their hair cut there. And now it was a long line because I think they actually had like 6 or 7.
I bet you it was right. Was it right before school?
They was actually doing it for free. But I think that whether we premiere it one time or maybe see if somebody wants to do that in the marketplace, like if we did a marketplace during the beginning of school, we could promote it for the next marketplace. There'll be $5 haircut for children, and maybe, and then this particular barber who wants to do that, he will show up on that day and do it. It's just different services. Not just, I want this, of course, when people like their shea butter, their oils, their mud cloths, and all of that. And I just would like for all kind of services that we use on a regular basis where that could be, a go-to place sometimes.
And I just...
Or, different things.
So in the...
pop-up shops, as they call them.
So in the marketing, we have to be intentional to let people know that is... we want to be able to be the market so that an individual could go and get all their needs serviced. So, of course, we're going to have the basic stuff, but we want, just like with Kwanzaa, I had a brother step to me talking about getting food delivered to my house. I had a lady there that was selling coffee. You know what I mean?
I remember at Malcolm X, there was a sister selling, sanitary products for women. Right. I bought some of her stuff.
Oh, they was there on Imani for us just 2 days ago. They had those products, and it's like and if we got that type of stuff where people come, well, I know that I'm gonna need that, boom, 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 and they know they can come get it from us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, right. we are being a mechanism. Because what a lot of people don't understand about the money, even though, like I said, when you get into the illusionary aspect of it, the fiat aspect of it, but money is the money, or the currency is the blood flow of the community. So you could tell how healthy a nation is, how healthy a community is by how well the blood flow. If there's no blood, then that part or that part of that body is dying. It may need to be cut off. You know what I'm saying? And the question we got to ask is, what are we doing to get the blood flowing in our community? You know what I'm saying? And this would be one of the, I would think, a major step. You know what I'm saying? Because people talking about building Black Wall Street, but my whole piece is, first, can we build Black Market Street? You know what I'm saying? Hell, every city has a Market Street. You think they just named that shit Market Street because it was cute? Or was it Market Street because out of Market Street, all of the other businesses came?
It is kind of cute, though. You got to admit.
Market, you wouldn't name a street
in
Market.
LA, that in Inglewood they had the Market.
Market and Vine, Market and Crenshaw, over by Crenshaw and Swanson and them, over by Robinson's. Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also one near, like in Inglewood, coming off of.
Don't try to out California each other. Don't try it. Don't do it. Don't try to out California.
My mama used to stay on Buckingham, right off of Crenshaw, right over there. It's up the street from Sizzlers.
See, this is black stuff. Now they gonna out California. Go get them, Navita. Hit them with it, Navita.
I'm just saying now, that's not the thing, because I visualized that when you said that marketplace.
Yeah.
And everything, but that would be really, really dope to try to. We will get it off and running.
Hell yeah, we gonna get it.
We just got to get together and meet on it, but Did anybody? Are we gonna still stay on that? Or are we gonna move on?
We can move on, baby. We can move on. That was my rant.
I just want to know, did anybody even watch this movie everybody been talking about yet?
Bird Box.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it.
What did you think? Did you think it was a representation of white supremacy, white people's failure to realize white supremacy?
That's one good interpretation. It's a very symbolic a movie, and I believe that it could mean several things. But I'm not one to argue somebody's view of that. Matter of fact, I posted up an article where a person wrote that. I don't know if they was writing it seriously or not, but they wrote that whole concept about it being a representation of people hiding their eyes to keep from seeing white supremacy. And that's an excellent view, but there's so many different directions that we could take it. You know what I'm saying? And the movie is a good watch. You know what I'm saying? I have seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. You can tell they put money.
But it's shit. The Happening was the same. If you ever seen The Happening, it was the same concept. So The Happening was the difference there was The Happening was breathing. You couldn't breathe.
Well, what was The Shining about then?
The breathing of the air, if you breathe the air, you would take on these toxins and it would cause you to kill yourself. But in this movie, it was you couldn't watch. If you did see it, you would kill yourself. And it was the same thing with The Happening was like that. You'd kill yourself if you breathe. I think they was wearing like masks over their faces or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I feel some kind of way because I refuse to watch Bird Box because of all the hype. I don't need to get.
I sort of watched it before I knew it was a lot of hype about it. My daughter was
even if
put the movie on, and I just watched it, and then afterwards I was like seeing stuff, and I was like, "This is about that movie." If I had known it was going to be all that hype, honestly, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I tried to watch it anyway, stuff like that.
Because, even though there may be a lot of hype surrounded by it, I would have watched it anyway. I'm not going to. Sometimes people, I think, go against the grain just because they want to go against the grain because everybody else is doing it, and I get that. But I just kind of don't care about if everybody else is doing it or not. I'm going to just watch it because I want to. There was a lot of hype around it, and I had never heard of the movie because I hadn't been on Netflix for a while. I've been Hulu, and so I was like, okay, let me see what this is. And,
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I don't think it was a great movie. I'll be honest with you. I think it was just a mediocre movie.
I saw people I'm sorry.
No, go on.
I saw people's comments where they were like, yo, if you think Bird Box is a good movie, we can never, ever talk about movies again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was an okay movie.
I don't think it was a good movie. It was just mediocre.
It was. I mean, when I got finished, I was like, I've seen this movie before. That's how I felt.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't think the writing was all the things that they said was not all that profound. It wasn't all that interesting. It was real basic, and they had good actors in it though. There's some really good actors in it, but what they had to say wasn't that profound. It wasn't that interesting. And even the pace of the movie, it went like, it was something happened overseas, bam, then all of a sudden it's in the United States, bam, all of a sudden cars are flipping over. And I was like saying to myself, are American attention spans that bad that, things just got to go bam, 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 bam. So I just thought it was a mediocre movie. I wouldn't have paid money to see that movie in the movie. I wouldn't. I would have been.
That's a movie that's good for home. Now I wouldn't be mad if I watched it at home. But if I'd have went to the movies and paid $13-14 for that, I'd have been salty about that.
Man,
but there was a piece in the movie that I didn't see the whole blindfold white folks trying to avoid looking at white supremacy. Me, I didn't see that. But what I did see the typical black man sacrificing himself for the whites, the betterment of the whites in the movie. I did see that.
That was annoying. That was an annoying part for me. That was frustrating.
I didn't see why he even did that.
It by myself, I would have turned it off. Because that kind of pissed me off from the beginning. I didn't like Little Rel's role that he played. I didn't like the way he was talking. I didn't like.
He was almost like he was buck dancing like a.
I didn't like it from the beginning. I would have turned, but I was watching it with my daughter, and they have a hard time watching stuff with me. So sometimes I just keep my mouth closed. But I was just like, this is annoying.
Yeah, hey man, listen. I was looking at that. I looked at that part. And I said, why did he have to? When this white man is sitting here with a double barrel shotgun, why did he feel he had to do that? What made? I mean, but those are the questions. And like you said, Sister Kim, this is why it's hard for me to watch movies. So sometimes I have to be quiet because that shit didn't make no sense to me. But there's
what did he do? Remind me. What did he do with the shotgun you talking about?
Now remember, the white boy. The white boy always kept his gun with him. He had a shotgun right there. When they went to the grocery store and the boy was knocking on the door and they tried to let him in, and he started coming in and they seen that he was infected. Rather than taking the gun and blowing this motherfucker's head off, no, the brother was like, oh, and runs through. Oh, damn, I got to save the white people, and run through and sacrifice his life to save them. Now, that shit is, that's a,
what did he do out there? What did he do?
Damn. And he ran and tackled the white boy, and he ended up getting killed. And I'm sitting up here like, that was totally useless. When you got an old white man, he should have ran on and grabbed the gun. So many different ways they could have handled that. So many different ways. You in a grocery store. There's knives everywhere. Y'all couldn't team up and kill this motherfucker. It's 5 of y'all. Y'all couldn't kill this one motherfucker. Close the door and just kill him. I don't understand.
Yep.
You gonna rush out.
I got to
save him. Damn. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here, and then on top of that, this is why I asked the question. We never saw the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like black folks have survived so much. I'm trying to wonder, what in the fuck could you show a group of black people that will make them kill themselves? There is nothing that you can show us. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when the brother took the blindfold off and killed all them people beforehand, because he had enough control to kill all those dudes to save that white girl and them 2 white kids, he had enough control to kill all them, and then he turned the gun on himself. I'm like, what could possibly, you know what I'm saying, that you could see that would cause you to, we done been broke. When white folks go broke, some of them commit suicide, raped, male and female, totally embarrassed. What in the hell could, you think about this type of stuff and be like, okay, cool. I could understand why people have to blindfold themselves, but I couldn't imagine no shit that you could show a group of niggas and they'd be like, you know what? I think we need to kill ourselves.
It's true. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting up here
like you said, he killed all them, but he's gonna make sure he saved.
He had to save
Becky.
Oh, he had to save her. That white girl's cooch is so good, I'm gonna sacrifice my life. Come on, man.
He sure did. He sacrificed his life for her and those kids.
For them and them kids. And it's like, yo.
But why didn't they pick one of the white characters to do that? You see what I'm saying? They always want to pick
Sandra Bullock. She chose him for that role. She chose him for that role.
She probably wanted to suck him.
And I saw an interview with her and him it was on Facebook. It was one of the TV programs interviewing him and her. And his body language was so passive. It was sickening.
Really?
She was sitting there confident and talking. He was just sitting there bent over, touching his face. I was like, whoa, this is really telling. He is passive. That's why
that's what they like. They don't like no aggressive black males.
I mean, now, and also we got to understand that all these movies, as Lady J like to bring up, are propaganda. And we have to understand that. Right. So it's important for us to be able to see it and be able to raise up points and discuss the points of the movie so that we can slant it so that it does not necessarily infect our young people in the way that is being put out to infect. Because, I mean, really, all of these are mental viruses. Because I heard about Bird Box, and I walked in the house one day, and my mom was watching it, and I just happened to walk in on the scene, and it was a white. I said, "Oh, Mom, what you watch? Oh, it's that movie Bird Box everybody talking about." I say, "I don't see nothing but a black man and a white woman in bed together. I don't know if I want to see that." So on Christmas Day, she said, you go and see it. And then I saw little memes where you got brothers with guns sitting with the blindfold on.
Exactly. I saw that too.
I said, okay. Say, then I heard questions like, could this be the end of times? Could this be how it happens? I said, let me see this shit. Because I got some goddamn fools sitting out here watching the movie, and I want to make sure I know what's going on. Because it's like, yo, man, you look at this, and they got the blindfolds on. You about to leave?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your mom on her way?
Yeah, she's here.
She here? Yeah. Oh, you wasn't gonna say bye or nothing?
I was.
It's real life here, Gye-Nyame Jr. I'm about to beat up my nephew. Why you want to go home? I thought you said you were staying to Thursday.
I thought I was, but my mom needs to.
Huh?
Mom needs to be home.
Okay. Oh, you being a
But I'll tell you, a lot of these movies, if you notice, they have a lot of. I see a lot of interracial couples now.
Oh.
Yeah,
I rarely see a movie with two black. It's a commercial.
You're right.
In the commercials now.
They're pushing that. They're pushing that. And I'm trying to figure out, who are they pushing that on? Are they pushing it on?
Why are they pushing it?
And what do they get from it? What do they gain from that? I'm trying to figure out, what do they get out of that?
More time.
I think that they get out, more time. I think a lot of times, and I remember, I think it was either Umar,
what they get out of it?
Pointed it out. He pointed out that what happens is a lot of times when a person that is black gets with a white individual, they tend to lean more towards the white individual's culture.
Oh, for a fact.
I mean? And that's why they push it, so that they can keep their culture, like give them more time, keep their culture alive. Because somehow or another, when they do that, then they have children, and then the children, a lot of times, not all the time, because Michi X is a biracial child, and she ain't on that, but they lean toward. I can't say that I'm black.
No, those children go towards the white side. If they're raised with a white person who is, conscious of her whiteness, you have some white women who kind of decide they want to act more black or whatever, but those are rare. But all the rest of them, no. They go with the white side. They white.
Right, especially if they was raised by, a white parent a lot of times.
A white mother, a white woman.
White mother,
they're white.
Yeah. And see, Michi X, if you ever listen to her video, she was raised by her black mother. So she really, I can't even relate to that white shit y'all be talking about. Because she said my daddy was around for a small amount of time, and he was racist as hell, and he taught us that we wasn't like, I heard my white father talk about niggers all the time. Look at these niggers killing themselves on TV and stuff like that. And she was like, I can't even relate to them, and because I was raised around all black folks. My mom raised me as a black child, and that's all I know. I don't know how they do. I don't participate in how they do things, And she was saying how most of her white side of the family now, they don't even, talk to her. She had put some stuff on Facebook, she said, about the police killing black children and stuff, and her white side came on her page talking about, well, if they would just comply with the law and all that kind of shit. She like, I had to block them white motherfuckers off my page. I don't think so. So, I think like my sister was saying, a lot of times when they raised by that white parent, then they kind of teeter-totter, Yeah,
from my experience, they don't teeter-totter. They go with white. They don't teeter-totter. What they do, from my experience, is they know how to act
there
black
you go.
in instances. They know how to code switch very well. They know how to act it. So for us as black people, we are very, very easy to fall for an act.
Right.
They act it, we fall for it. But
right.
No, they are 100% in line with whiteness and the dominant culture. That is who they are.
And
that is my experience.
I just want to stress that most black people think that they act and think as if they are dark-skinned white people, and we have to understand that this is why with Gye-Nyame Journey I keep on stressing, because it ain't just the mixed kids that's doing that. We got full-fledged people darker than me that speak dominant culture speak, and because they could try, as you call it, code switch very smoothly. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is look at their actions. Look at like they say, you could judge a tree by its fruit, right? You know what I'm saying? And all you gotta do is look at everything around them, dude. You're talking very black, but I'm seeing you live in the white world. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Because now, and that comes into one of those principles that we need to teach. Respect is about learning to see again, so that you could, now, when you really start looking at people and you really start looking at them, you can respect them for who they are, and not fall for your illusions, because a lot of times we fall because we want them to be. This is why we do. This is why we will accept anybody and be like, oh, okay, they for us, even though we see that their actions are anti-us. Oh, they could dance good. So they part of us. They could play a saxophone. So they part of us. We just want, you know what I'm saying, because we don't respect ourselves and we don't respect them, so we get caught up in their illusions. Bird Box was a fucking illusion.
I agree with you, but I don't really feel it's respect. I think for African Americans, we are affected by that one drop rule. We had the one drop rule as a black people, and I haven't done my research, but I would say there are very few African communities who have had a one drop rule. They've had, like mulattoes and all these different categories. We didn't have that. We just had one drop of black, you black. So we are kind of conditioned to see a black person as being black. It don't matter how much black they got in them. And I feel as though because of that, we've been taken advantage of.
And the white man is the one that created that rule. Actually, they created the one drop rule.
And I just,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Like me, especially, especially because my name is Shaka, and I grew up as the only light skinned Shaka that I knew. But no one, and just put it like this, no one cares that my mother is from Bangkok, Thailand. At the end of the day, all the injustice that I've experienced in America has all to do with my shade of blackness. You understand? So I don't see other people from Thailand going through the shit that I went through. I don't see other people from those other cultures dealing with that. And, and like I said, about a week ago, somebody, a brother, actually, really, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Sano from the Scribe Tribe, but he's a Facebook friend of mine, historical graffiti artist who happens to be part Asian, and he put this video up about what you don't hear from people who are mixed with Asian cultures. It's like on both sides, there's a whole different layer of it. Even those they had a sister who was, or a young lady who was half Korean and half white, experiencing racism, because it's like, even with that, it's like, so where are you from? Yeah, I'm from Cleveland. No. Where are you from? You know what I mean? And it's that extra layer of I gotta sit here and explain to somebody why I'm not all the way white. You know what I mean? And so with that one drop thing, I think that video is explaining the same sentiment, but they're isolated. So they don't get to identify with us at that capacity unless they're inside of our communities.
No, but I would challenge that, because if you look even within the hood, because many of the actions that we consider black are not black. I mean, we have been totally, and when I say respect, let me be clear. Respect means looking at something again. When you look at, not, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, respect, re-see. When I'm saying respect, I'm talking about learning to see something for what it is. When you don't see it for what it is, you are disrespecting it. Even if what you see is not what, because what we do is we look at things, like many of us have been in relationships, when we saw in somebody something that we wanted to see, rather than seeing who that person really was. So we started trying to bend this person into what we wanted to see, not really realizing that even though we call it love, what we're doing is we're manipulating this person, trying to turn this person into something that they're not, which means we are giving them the ultimate we're giving the ultimate disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So we look at politicians, we look at other people that look like us, and we want them to be us. So we disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, hey, your actions telling me, brother or sister, I don't give a fuck how dark you are. I know who you are, so don't worry about it. I'll keep my space and stay safe. Yeah, but that Bird Box movie, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have paid no money to go see it. I don't care how many people. That type of thing, I would have waited for it to come out bootleg. And the reason that it got people like, what does it mean that it got 45 million views? It means that it was free. I paid. I
might make you mad at this.
Go ahead.
But because of the hype, I felt the same way about Get Out.
I still ain't seen Get Out.
Oh, wow.
I still ain't seen Get Out. I'm not going to see Get Out.
You haven't?
Huh?
Why haven't you seen it?
Get Out?
Yeah.
Because it's a message to me telling me I need to get out. I ain't got no money to go nowhere, so I'm not rushing to the movie to see the shit. I lived that shit before. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like with the Nat Turner movie. See, because let me be clear with you. I call this Gye-Nyame Journey Media because hopefully by the time my grandkids get it, or some of the young people that are family by extension get it, we will be at a level where we'll be able to make videos. And one of the things that I want to conquer as far as black people is that we have either predictable plot lines when we always lose. Because even though that nigga escaped, we know that he still has to go and deal with the regular life shit. It ain't no completion to our hero journey. When he gets out that shit, you already know that he got some other shit, and he gonna have a lot of explaining to do about these white dead folks in this town. We already know this shit.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, boom, even though he got out, we know that he's still in. So it's no victory in there. It's like the movie about Nat Turner. I couldn't go see the movie about Nat Turner. Why? Because I already know the ending. I know I'm gonna get hyped up and have my heart broke by the end of the goddamn movie. So I don't want to go see that shit. I'm looking for some transformative media for black folks where we winning. I love, you know why I see Spook Who Sat by the Door on a bi-yearly. I make a reason for us to have to see that shit yearly or bi-yearly. Why? Because it's a victory movie for us, where we at least get to use our imagination and be like, damn, they took it to another level. There is, other than Spook Who Sat by the Door, there's very few movies where we come out collapsing the whole shit. We already know the end to a lot of these movies. Even with Bird Box, when I seen the niggas in there, I already knew. They're at least, all right, cool, it's starting off as 2. No black women, by the way. So one of them is going to have to die.
No black women. That's why they said they always got to pair them with a white woman. They had no black women.
No black women. No black women.
I really want to hear somebody weigh in on black Klansmen, but go ahead.
Now, black Klansmen, I seen a piece of that because I was waiting to go see another movie. So I saw a piece of that. But then once again, it ends in the same situation because you already know the end. Because it's sort of like Malcolm X. And I learned this watching Malcolm X because I got hopeful in the Malcolm X movie that perhaps it would be different. But it couldn't be different. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very frustrating. It's sort of like, and another reason, like I said, I read a lot of books and I'm looking for the solution in these books. And I said, damn, the solution is not in these books. I finished reading the book and be frustrated. But I can't be mad at everybody else. I need to go on and set it. So I call this Gye-Nyame Journey Media so I can start talking to my young people like, look, because one of the things I also want to do is I want to do a black soap opera. I want to put together a black soap opera that's about the conscious community, where it got all the drama and all the shit, but you see people come together regardless of what happens to solve community issues and to build shit up. I want the full falling out. I want the full drama. I want the illicit sex. You know, you don't have to have the scenes, but I want to have a real conscious soap opera where shit is happening in real life. But yet, they see people still able to come together, overcome their problems, and work. Where you actually see a group of sisters that really are concerned about each other and about each other's growth, and foul shit happen, and they're able to settle that shit without necessarily taking it, you know, in public. Same thing with brothers, where brothers come together, then they can see the whole community working together with all of the drama, all of the sickness, completing the task each season.
Yo. I believe, you know what? I hear what you're saying, Tim, and I've heard it from people who have tried. I mean, industry folk like.
That's the problem, Shaka. That's the problem. Industry folk. Fuck the industry. Right. See, we got to understand the industry is not here. I don't understand why we constantly run to these motherfuckers to be certified. I mean, I'm like when you said, I don't care if you gotta pay attention to what's happening. Hold on. How can you get a college degree in African dance? What the fuck? I mean, come on now. And we actually. Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. Netflix is revolutionary. They got some revolutionary things going on.
That's industry, dog. That's industry.
For the independent.
That's industry. It's industry.
We cannot. How are we gonna be anti-industry and we want to reach the masses?
Listen to me. See, this is where we keep getting fucked up.
You see what he did with the Hidden Colors series in 1804?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, how are we going to reach
He didn't go through Netflix or nobody.
Do you know that most of the masses think most of the masses think they
make
white?
My first point, because you're going in a whole different place. My whole piece is that wherever you try it on whatever level, if you didn't do it as an industry and you made it a webisode on YouTube, I mean, that's cool, but my whole point is that people eventually are looking for some commonality that they can really get into. There's two types of art. Hold on. There's two types of art. It's the artist that makes the strange familiar, and there's the artist that makes the familiar strange. It's as simple as that.
No, it's not. Because you're saying you're adding another level to it. You're saying,
I'm not.
Yes, it is, because you're making the industry the medium through which the people get that shit. When we know that the industry is designed to stop people from getting anything that will uplift them. We already know this. So we keep.
I don't know if.
I'm sorry.
I know y'all know his name is.
For example, listen what I'm saying, is that none of the industry networks, and I'm not talking about Netflix and Hulu, I'm talking about when you get cable, right? There's certain things that you get on Netflix and Hulu that are straight up documentaries. We haven't provided those yet. But you have, like, for example, things that are changing the world right now, like Forks Over Knives. Once you see that documentary, you will not want to eat meat no more. And it's pulling people towards that health consciousness. And you look at the hip-hop piece that they put out, that they spent $10 million in doing the first season, the Get Down, right? You look at that, it's changing people's ideas and understanding, and it's really giving them real information that they cannot get elsewhere. My piece is this, is that you take somebody like Tracy Morgan, who right now can afford to do his own shit, and he put out that show, The Last OG. I like that show. But what I don't like about the show is that we still putting ourselves in the drug thing. But he put himself in that situation so people can get it.
Not only did he put himself in that situation,
he's making a familiar strange in his message, because he actually does have a good message in there. And there's a lot of hidden points in The Last OG.
You didn't see him. Did you see him sell crack to any black people in The Last OG?
Say what?
Did you see him sell crack to any black people? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Guys, I just want to say.
Well, hold on. Let Kim go real quick.
Guys, I just want to say something about Netflix. I don't know if you guys realize, but I just realized it recently. Netflix was formed in 1995. In 1995. That's when the company Netflix was formed. And I'm saying to myself, okay, that means they had probably a good 10 years or more of no one knowing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know about Netflix until I would say in the mid 2000s, like 2010. I think that's when I got my first Netflix account. And so when Hatim is talking about starting something, Netflix started it, and no one knew about it for like 10 years. So when you start something, it's gonna start small, and it may stay small for a long time. And if you black, it may always be small.
There is a black-owned entity just like Netflix right now, and it's owned by Damon Dash. It's just like Netflix.
That's true.
It's a black-owned entity. And when I was on there, I tried to sign up for it, but I don't know if it was
because
he has his own black thing. And from what I understand and listening to James Dash, is that he's one of the few entities, unlike Netflix, that will take on and let you put your shit on there when you got rejected by Netflix.
Yep.
Right. And you know what? That's cool, because, listen, I was just on... All right, I'm on my Fire Stick, so any of them I have available to me. I got Hulu, I got Netflix, whatever it is. Now, I opened up this new one because I was looking for a particular movie that wasn't on either one. I don't know why Fallen with Denzel Washington is not available, but I was looking for something, and I just decided, let me just put on this movie. I like this one, too. And then it just started streaming other movies that I had never seen before. One in which was Malik Yoba playing a kingpin again, a drug kingpin, and you got people, you could tell that this woman ain't Jamaican, but she's faking the accent. She must be his sister. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, I could tell it's Malik Yoba surrounded by a whole bunch of B actors. This must be his project, and indeed it was. And you know, and this is where a lot of those types of movies go that Netflix ain't doing. Like, you know, Deuces could have been one of it. But with Lorenz Tate, but you know, they picked it up, and they're commissioning a lot of those kind of movies to be put out because it's what the actors are deciding they want to, you know, that they want to do. They send their treatment in, and Netflix is like, Lorenz Tate, it's kind of like Power, but it's all in the movie. Go ahead, let's do it. How much is it going to cost? Any of the black actors or comedians. Dave Chappelle, we like him. He's going to bring viewers. We'll pay him $60 million to do 2 stand-ups. We'll pay Tracy Morgan $60 million to do 1 stand-up because we want y'all here. You know, and honestly, Tracy Morgan, I've never liked him as a stand-up artist, but this Netflix thing, yo, it's dope. I put that stand-up right next to Eddie Murphy's stand-up. So So it's a thing of quality that's coming out of them because they're seeing that there's a hunger. There's a hunger to get a certain message across that mainstream might not deal with it. You look at, you know what I mean? You look at Tracy Morgan as an individual in this relationship with Walmart. It's a whole bunch of influence that Walmart got that might not let him do that on the industry level, even though he's got 100 million plus now.
And even like you said with YouTube, you know, that's another outlet. And I'm telling you what, that Nick Cannon, he doing it with the Cannon classes.
I'm just saying. I mean, the only thing I'm saying is, if you can get it in, by all means, take your in. But my piece is, if we continue waiting, right? If we continue waiting for a deal for one of us to get big enough to get a deal, we'll never tell our stories.
Right, we don't want to wait.
And I'm like, the way shit is
at the moment.
The way shit is done, because
whether be creating our own avenue or using one that's established, and you know, or what have you. Because you know, like I said, Nick Cannon, he's doing his thing. You know, but you know, I don't know how you two, because I know there's some things that you get paid, or I don't know how it all works.
I'm working on that right now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have the viewers. The piece that I'm saying is, if you create something good that could start a buzz, it don't even have to be good, because I done seen some YouTube movies that motherfuckers made on their cell phones that got 1 million views. Somebody is able to eat and make a part 2. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up there. Why can't it be somebody from our community? Why can't it be us? Because I know Netflix. I can't depend on Netflix to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's like waiting for ABC. You know, all right, cool. We give you a little bit of money. And then what happens when they do this shit to you, Shaka? That's a great story. I'm going to give you $30 million. But because I paid you $30 million, I own that shit, so I'm going to shelf that shit. And I might show it 50 years from now. Because they can do that, and they have done that. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
If they give me my $50 million, what's causing me not to build a legacy episodes on
but Shaka, let's keep it honest, man.
Right.
You wouldn't be the only one they did it to. Why the other ones ain't doing that? You get accustomed to living in some lifestyle. You get accustomed. You ain't gonna spend your own. You ain't gonna risk everything that you just did to go back to where you are. Because they're gonna wine you and dine you and get you comfortable, dude. It's like this, dude. If you think about it as a strategist, if you want to get somebody on your side, you make them comfortable with you. You get them used to living that lifestyle. Then I drop this 40 million on you, and I say, here, boom, live your lifestyle. I'm not putting your movie out. I'm not putting your project out. We straight. Now, our business is done. You completed your contract. I completed mine. Now you got $40 million. All you got is that $40 million. You don't have a job no more. You don't have no income coming in no more. You just had that $40 million.
Whatever you could have spent to make that first one, you sure didn't spend $40 million to make that first one. So you could just go right on ahead and take you a meal and do you the second.
But we make it. But hold on, we make it sound that easy, Navita. But if it was that easy, we would have more people doing it. Spike Lee right now should be sitting on some millions. You know what I'm saying? Why is he not coming out with a show a week? You know what I'm saying? Or something, you know what I'm saying? We got all these individuals with supposedly all these black people that's got all this money. Why isn't shit that is culturally relevant to us coming out?
They don't think like that. We got about 5%, in my opinion, of the population or less that thinks like that.
All right.
We talking about who has the money to actually do so.
Okay, I'm just saying. But there's something else. So then that brings up the point. Why is it that 5% is broke?
Say what?
I said, why is that 5% broke?
I'm saying, I'm talking the 5% with the money. They are the ones that may have the money, or even if the 3% or the 2%, they don't have that mindset to care about.
But what I'm saying is, what percentage are people like us that's having discussions like this? What percentage would you say we are?
Oh well, we ain't the ones with the coin.
Okay.
Like you said,
but the whole point is, black people, we don't have money as the people. So you talking about the exceptions to the exceptions.
Right.
So you're talking about our top 1% that happen to be millionaires. Now, you really think our top 1% are gonna be pro-black?
Hell no, because it don't pay. Because that's why they did.
They didn't get that. Being pro-black didn't get them to where they are.
Right. So for them,
and then some of them who did get there, once they got there, that whole capitalism and European shit took over. I.e., Brother Polite.
Hey.
Who? Brother Polite.
I'm so glad she said who, because it's not even important.
He started off in the grassroots in Harlem, on the street, dropping knowledge. Once that mother started getting that money, he moved to Beverly Hills. He started hanging with whites, and then the next thing you know, he talking about dating a white chick. He Versace, all that black shit. You know, he's still talking a little bit, but
you ain't pumping to keep the income coming in.
No.
See, and the piece that I'm saying is like because even in our business piece, when we put money first, money will always be first. It's not money over anything. Right. It's the people over everything. It's the tribe over everything. So then you're able to work, because I'm saying, listen, why not because I could put together a project. Now, this is what pisses me off. I got motherfuckers with camera skills. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to people, and this is one of the reasons that I didn't want to really jump on and help with one of the brothers that's suffering right now in the community, because I work with somebody like him, somebody that's brilliant and has an amazing talent, but sits around and tells me why he can't do what the fuck I'm doing. I said, nigga, you smarter than me.
What is that noise? I'm having trouble with somebody's got some noise in the background.
It's probably an iOS device, but I ain't gonna say shit about it. I'm gonna just be quiet. Look,
man. Haters come in all forms. Brothers, sisters.
I'm just saying, man. I
thought we left hate in 2018.
I brought some of that shit along with me just in case, because it kind of spices up the chili sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying now. But and this is
Android app.
And this is the point. See, and for me, Shaka, as Gye-Nyame Journey Media, I'm not trying to compete with them. I'm trying to make content for motherfuckers that we already got. And they'll be able to share it with their friends, because one of the things that I learned from you is the 6 degrees of separation. We're 6 people from knowing everybody in the world. So that one person that I have, or if everybody has the mind state, because we moving into communication, so we have to start communicating with people, teaching them how to help us on the internet. You know what I'm saying? What amazes me is that people don't understand the power of them sharing. So we will look at videos like this, we'll look at positive videos, and we'll just look at it and we might thumbs up it, or we might not even do nothing. But we don't understand the power of our shares and our likes, because when somebody shares a video, it moves you into another layer of exposure that you don't never know what's going to happen. So we have to start communicating with people is the idea.
We got to get people to share, though. I put stuff up there, like I put a thing about the warrior training class. Anybody want to sign up to please share it, whatever. And you know what? I think I got maybe 1 or 2 shares on that. Now, let me put some fuck shit up there.
Exactly.
And get all kind of shares. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a brother say something about, because, you know, we have it at the Millennium School, and if you look at it, they commented that, well, them kids at that school, they the worst behavioral school, well, then they the ones that need it the most. Even though it's not a Millennium School thing, it's anybody. We just have it.
Right, we open it for anybody. And what we got to realize is that COINTEL shit is still going on. And on top of that, when we start encountering people like that, turn them iOS phones down, because this Apple shit is getting too much. We have individuals
on the turntable trying to scratch.
That's what I'm saying. We have to start checking some of them. It's like, yo, dude, stay off my goddamn timeline. I had somebody last night post something else up on my timeline about Milana Karenga. And I'm sitting up here like, I just asked. You know, I just asked that nobody post this shit up on my site. Because first off, now let me say this, because this is what happens. Most motherfuckers that complain about the behaviors at Millennium Community Schools have never come to Millennium Community Schools, nor have they volunteered, nor have they done anything at the school. And as a matter of fact, more than likely they're not doing anything at any school. So I'm gonna tell you, any school.
What is Millennial Community School? What is that?
That's where he works at.
That's the school where I serve as a dean of students. And the issue is that one of the reasons that Millennium experience a lot of the behavior issues that we do is because we don't really expel. We could do like the other charter schools because everybody be praising charter schools, but nobody really understand the hustle. The hustle to becoming a successful charter school, and I don't give a damn what they tell you. The hustle to becoming a successful school is to identify those problem children, those children that need extra resources, and get rid of them. At Millennium Community School, we don't do that shit. I've been rocking with kids that have behavior issues from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. That's how we do it. We struggle through and we work with the community because those are our kids. Because one of the issues we have is if we expel them from here, if we put them out from here, where they gonna go? And what they gonna do? Now, some of them are so severe that we have to go on and turn them over to other services or whatever. But the piece that we try to maintain as many of the kids, at least if their parents as well as the student is trying to work with us. If they're not trying to work with us, I mean, then I got to let them go. But if I got a family that's trying to rock with me, trying to rock with what we doing, then by all means, boom. If they try to plug into some of the extra services, so the hustle behind a lot of these charter schools is like Kip and all them, they want to admit this shit, but they get rid of the problem kids. And you know where those kids come? They come over to my school. So then we get niggas on the timeline saying shit like, oh well, them kids over there are bad. They need the behaviors over there is bad. Bring your ass over and volunteer. We always requested for family members
and other people's problems.
Exactly. These are our kids. These kids are gonna grow up and be in our community, and you got the nerve to identify 600 of your own kids as bad. Then nigga, you need to stay where you are and shut your mouth and stay off my timeline. See, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna have to go and find a flyer so I can start checking niggas because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we got all these people. We got all these people with.
Bad. I mean, that's rude.
That not only is it rude, it's called treason. It's called treason. Wow. You understand? How can you look at your own children and be like they bad? How can you look at any children that are rebelling? These children are rebelling in real time against this shit that we know don't work, but yet we want to label them as bad. How the fuck can I expect? How the fuck can I put somebody out that's rebelling against some shit that I'm talking against all the time? They're just rebelling. This shit don't work for me, Mr. Brown. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Got it.
So where am I supposed to send them?
Yeah, they gotta go to school.
Y'all calling me. What do y'all want? Y'all can't call me when I'm on the show. I'm sorry. I'm real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Is somebody dying?
That point. As you talking, I'm typing that shit right down on my timeline too for the person that said that.
Exactly. You know tell that motherfucker to come see me.
That's a good point, motherfucker. You would rather see. Because I feel like this. If there's a student at Millennium School and they're having a problem with their student and they need to be somebody to work with them, I feel like the people at Millennium School care enough to work with them. Their solution isn't, you got to go somewhere else.
You got to go somewhere else. All the goddamn time.
We're going to keep you here and work with you. Therefore, you get the reputation of having
bad kids.
I told my friend, his grandson is having some troubles at school. And I said, if you want somebody that's going to work with your student, Send them over to Millennium School.
And let me highlight. Let me
something yesterday.
I'm sorry. This
Brother Tim had mentioned something yesterday about how when you're working with our children, Hatem was saying that he wanted to be the brother who, when he's out and about, one of the kids can say, hey, that's one of the administrators at our building, or that's somebody who worked with me when I was growing up, and that kind of thing. And it made me think of last year, Brother Hatem had me come to the Millennium School to give a talk. And I believe it was that Imani day. I went to this steakhouse out here owned by the brother. I forget the name of it, but it was owned by the brother out there. Yeah. And as I was coming out of the steakhouse, the brother was this young brother with his mom, and he was looking at me, and his mom said, well, go ahead and ask him. And, when I heard that, I already knew what was up. But he said, are you the brother who gave that talk at our school, at the Millennium School the other day? And I said, I am, brother. What's your name? And, and I did all that. But, but that's what it's about.
Yes, you're right.
Being showing our faces, showing that we care, and having them recognizing us out and about, see what we do.
Man, to see what we do, and so that we can watch what they do, and they know that they can be like Cleve know that he's liable to be called out anywhere. And I want all my kids to feel like that. But if you're just sending your kid to school, right? You're just sending your kid to school, man. We divorce ourselves. You can't bring up something healthy in isolation. So I got a whole school where we able to work with kids and we're isolated. And then on top of that, we believe, because I tell parents all the time, expulsion is anything over 10 days. I'm expelling your child, but your child can come back if you want to take the whole time. Your child did some fucked up shit. You take the time, you come back. We always welcome people, and we don't throw them out. And it would be so easy for me to get the test scores. And then on top of that, I got a whole family behind me and support me in that. And yet and still, I got niggas online that got the audacity to talk about how bad my school is. When in fact, a lot of them people that said that, some of they badass kids, if you want to use the term, badass kids made it through my school. Bitch ass niggas, I can't stand that shit. How you gonna sit up there and badmouth your own children? And then you got 70 people to try to raise them up, raise a community on a daily basis. I see some people's kids more than they do, and I dare them to challenge me on that. And then on top of that, we got programs going on Saturdays. We got after school sports. And yet we still struggling with the test. You know why? Because we're trying to train our kids in isolation. So don't ever, don't ever challenge me.
That's why don't nobody like you, Hatem.
And that's what, and I don't, people. And not only that, I don't care if they don't like me. You know why? Because my kids love me. Even the ones that I put out for 45 days, they come up and they give me a hug and they thank me. So I know I'm doing the right thing. How many strangers, how many other people's sons will come up to you and hug you?
Right.
Out of genuine love. I mean, some of this stuff, it bothers me to the utmost because
you know what's so crazy about that, Hatem, is that brings a whole different behavior in our community because these kids, they grow up and those hugs, they stay the same. You know what I mean? So like when and that's the whole piece is that when you see a Baba figure out there, you might have a grown man come and give you an embrace because to him or to her, these grown-ass people still see you as who you were when they were young. And so you have a functionality that no one else can replace. Even if somebody new came in and was doing the exact same thing as you, because y'all ain't got that history together.
And the history...
that says a lot.
Black Yoda on the line. Go ahead, Black Yoda.
you remember our babies from Indianola, right?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, some of them young brothers were
straight thugs.
Involved in all kinds of stuff, right?
Right.
But they could tell the teachers who cared.
That's right.
Yep. And so
they always cared.
And Charlotte was telling me a story. Now, Charlotte, for those who don't know, Charlotte's my wife, and she worked at the Indianola Middle School. Now, Charlotte was telling me a story a few months back. She was saying that one of the teachers, now she was a white teacher, and she was a really good English teacher, and actually got the students interested in what they were doing and had them researching topics that were to their best interest. And so the students really liked her. In any event, so this teacher was on her way from somewhere. Now, this is years after the Indianola school closed down and everything. And her car stops on the road. She has a flat. She's like, oh, hell, what am I going to do, right? So a brother stops alongside her and asks her if she wants some help, right? And she's like, yeah, I could use help, but she's scared as hell, right? Scared as hell. And then he gets out the car and, starts to assist her. He's like, you're Miss Weber Wilson, aren't you? And she was like, yeah, who are you? And he identified himself, and all she could do is shake her head because he was one of the more problematic students at the building.
Couldn't believe it.
But this is what he stopped to do, for someone he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And so it's another one of those examples where, we talk about how, let me say it this way, in the stats world, or in the probabilities world, they'll look at how things are, and based upon the current trend, they'll make projections into the future. But when you ask scientists from 10 years back how they thought things were going to be 10 years hence from then, they failed the test. Because regardless of what the trends are showing,
I want some more coffee.
The trends rarely stay the same. And so again, I come back to the point. In statistics, based on the current trend, you make projections on how things will be in the future. But we are the critical piece of breaking up all the trends that we see in our children presently. We are that key. And if we're successful, we come across the same kinds of stories that, in this case, Miss Wilbur Wilson came across. I mean, Charlotte, she always has excellent relationships with her students. And so, we got babies going back decades from when Charlotte used to teach double Dutch to, and hell, when I was working at the Spanish Immersion Academy back in the early 90s, man,
Don't forget the shoelace. Don't forget your shoelace.
Say that again.
Don't forget your shoelace.
Right. Oh, man. Shoot, shoelace from back when we were teaching it at Oberlin to when we lived here to Columbus, man. Good grief, man. Just all over the place. We got babies, man, who are doing good things, doing big things, and keeping our best interest at the top of the list.
Right. And it's like, it'd be so easy for me. It'd be so easy for us to prove our test scores by just getting rid of kids. And that's what people doing. But yet, you get the reputation for being a horrible, y'all got the horrible behaviors. And it'd be so easy for me to get rid of all of them. Legally, it would be no consequences to doing it. None. But we do it because we live true to our name. We are a community school. which means the school belongs to the community. So how does a community throw away its children? Give me a break. Bring your ass up to my school and do some volunteer work. Those of you in Columbus that have something to say. Come and I challenge you to have a clean record. How about that? Because nobody cared about you. They threw you away. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? We sit up there and we sit up here and we rally against the system because most of us, and see what's even crazy is most of us can't even vocalize what's going on with the system, but yet we expect our children to tell us what's wrong with them when all you can look at them and see is that they got what the white people used to call drapetomania. You know what drapetomania was? That was slave runaway disease. That's what they called it, drapetomania. I'm in slavery, I'm trying to escape. That's what's going on with our kids. But yet we don't want to face the reality. You want to turn them over to somebody else and then want to come on the line and talk about people that's trying to work with your children. And even though you don't think that they're yours, let me tell you something. When they come to your community and there's no jobs, guess who heads they're going to knock? They're going to knock all the heads of motherfuckers that didn't give a damn about them.
Right. Hey, you know what's so crazy about it? And this is my issue with product of the environment. You talk about Indianola. Right around the corner was Arcadia, where all the African students went. And when you look at it, how did the same environment affect them? Because I mean, you know, where do we put that population? Are we talking about the same thing or no?
Who you talking about? The African children?
Yeah.
I'm confused. Now, let me understand. Now, I need people to understand there is a cultural difference. Now, there is a cultural unity between us, but we have to admit that there is a cultural difference between us and continental Africans. We have to, so because this environment, see, this environment is not built on the failures of continental Africans. It's built on the failure of direct descendants of slaves in America. That's what this is built on. So all of the systems, you might be able to fall in there, but if you have an accent, they will treat you just a little bit different than that American accent, and you're black. We have to understand that. And this is another move that's coming in 2019. You heard it here first. Another move that a lot of black people around the country are going to be working on is being able to put in the census where they track descendants of slaves. It might not be listed as that because we have a lot of people mixing in and getting the benefits that were supposed to be just for us because they're black. Because they're dark-skinned. But then when it comes time to vote and it comes time to do things, they're not operating with our interest in mind. And we got to start putting our interests first. Just like in our libations, we do ourselves. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to share something with you. My husband is African, by the way, and I live in Africa. But and I've been living in Africa. I've been coming back and forth to Africa since the 80s. So I've been coming here a long time. I've been living here permanently since 2011. So this is what I had a conversation with my husband because we did live in the States for a long time. And I said, you know, as an African coming to America, you opted in to be in a white supremacy environment. You had a choice. Yes, you're going to be impacted by racism, but you opted in. And because you opted in, your mindset is not the same as another black man who didn't opt in. So when you're impacted by racism, it don't affect you the same way it affects another black man who that's all they know, and they're impacted by generational racism. When you opt in, you're not impacted by generational racism. It only impacts you. It didn't impact nobody before you in your family.
Right.
So it's not the same. And I had this conversation with my husband, and he kept trying to prove me, no, it is the same. And finally, he kind of realized, oh, you're right. It's not the same. Because when you standing there and your white boss is berating you as an African, you don't take it differently from a black man who his white boss berated him. His dad was berated. His mom was berated. His grandparents all the way back to slavery. It's not the same.
No.
So, and it's not the same for our children. It's not the same for students. So, an African student and a Black American descendant of the same student, they are totally different in that same environment.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at the punishment for a lot of African students. Anybody who had interaction with African people directly from the continent, Miss Kim, can you tell me what's one of the punishments, one of the biggest threats that an African parent can make to a child that's in America?
A punishment?
Yes. You ain't acting right in school. What's one of the biggest? What's one of the biggest punishments in the sense, and that you could?
I think one of the things is they expect for them to. Most of them, I don't want to overgeneralize, but I'm going to overgeneralize in this instance. So you have a lot of parents who expect for their children to do very well because they see all the things that they have in America. I mean, their parents came from classrooms of 60 children and one teacher, and maybe, you don't even have a book. You have to copy everything down from the board. And they made it through that. So you got people who made it through that. So they're exceptional to get through that anyway. So then they got kids who go to school. You get a book for every class. You get 20 kids in the classroom. So they expect for their kids to do extremely well based on where they came from. So when the kids don't, when they kind of succumb to their environment, they do a lot of verbal, a lot of chastising. It's some physical, but it's more verbal and it's more psychological because they have a strong psychological hold on them from the beginning, because that's also a part of African culture. It's a lot of talking and a lot of psychological hold on you. So that's what I would say is more psychological. And from my experience, I'm more knowledgeable about West Africa per se than East Africa. So I would say it's more psychological.
But one of the major issues that I hear, you keep acting up, I'm gonna send you home.
That's an empty threat. You hear that? That's an empty threat. Sometimes they will send them, but generally that is very rare. I'll be honest with you, it's very rare. Yeah. I even get that in Africa. Parents say, because I work at international schools, you don't act up, I'm going to send you to the village. I've only had one instance where this kid, his father really did it. He said, I ain't paying, I'm sending you to the village, and he really did it. So, but usually that's an empty threat.
Okay.
They don't usually do that. When they do send them back home, it's not because they're acting up, it's because they want them to get the culture, they want to save money, they want to work and not have to pay for a babysitter. It's a lot, I don't want to overgeneralize, but a lot of their decisions be made because of money. That's the primary thing is money. That's the decision.
When they threaten punishment saying, I'll send you home, what is the punishment supposed to be as far as sending you home?
Well, now, understand. Now, for example, listen to her description of the classrooms that they come from. In America, America is very laxed. And when the threat of sending home is not that I don't necessarily want to go to Africa, but I don't want to go and succumb to the discipline that comes with being here. Because because listen, it's sort of like for those that have been married and be like, listen, you keep on acting up, I'm gonna send you to your daddy's house. Not that the kids don't want to see their daddy, they just don't want to see their daddy in that capacity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not that they have a hate for Africa, but they do understand that there's a difference in the schooling. There's a difference in the free time. There's a difference in what you can do and what you can't do. PlayStations and shit, and possibly having cable everywhere, which is slowly happening over there, but it's already here. So I got all this shit. I got a TV in my room. Oh, you hear about what's going on at home? They ain't got it like that. And studying is very important. You're going to study, right? So, and so I want to be clear on it. I want to be clear on it that we're not saying that the kids don't want to go to, but they don't want to be engulfed in the culture to the level to where they have to succumb to a lot of stuff that some of the young people over there have to experience. Because we got to understand, in America, because I be trying to tell my kids, y'all get to go to school for free. In most countries, you got to pay every day, and you might not get a book. And after schools, you don't get removed from classroom for behavior issues. You get removed from the classroom for economic issues. Because if your parents are sending you to a school and they pay it, and I'm already struggling, oh dog, this is shit. You might as well die before you come home. They're
not going to act up in the classroom. It's not something that they're going to do. They will act up at school, but the classroom environment is very highly structured. It's minimal distractions. The teacher comes in, does what they do, and these schools, some of the schools are highly dysfunctional. A lot of times they don't have a teacher in the classroom. Even when I was in Malaysia, there were classrooms that didn't have a teacher. The kids were being there teaching themselves. So it's not like what we have at all. Not structured.
Free pencils, free paper.
If you get a teacher who's coming to teach, they're going to pay attention because they don't always have a teacher.
Okay.
And then here, they go to class, they get, you don't have a pencil, they're going to give you a pencil, paper.
Yep.
I got one young lady that worked with me that, she went to Africa with us before. And we took school supplies over there to give away. Because that's what the young people was asking for. And she got off the bus and started handing out pencils and ran out of pencils. And it got aggressive as hell up. The men had to jump off the bus and pull this girl on. She wasn't giving out computers. She wasn't giving out calculators. She was giving out pencils and possibly some paper. And we told her, listen, we're going to drop them off. You know what I'm saying? It got aggressive. You out of pencils? Oh, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Because that here in America, she thought, okay, it's just like that everywhere else. Hey, you out of your teacher? No. In those other countries, it's not like that. Education is something that's paid for.
Yep, it's something you pay for, and it's something that not everybody gets. To get quality education, most people don't get it. And I hate to say it, that's what's coming in America now. It was everybody got a good quality education, but now we're getting more third worldized so that not everybody gets the quality. We're becoming like a third world country. We're going backwards.
Yeah.
As it relates to education, that's how I see it.
Well, a lot of these public schools are not able to compete when they come out with like some of the suburban schools, like that one commercial.
Exactly, and it wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that in the 60s and the 70s. If you went to a public school as a black person, you got a decent education as somebody who went to a white school.
Yeah,
but now it's not like that.
See, I went to school here, and then I moved to Chillicothe in 7th or 8th grade. I'm 50, that'd be 51. So when I moved, so that had to be in the 70s. When I moved to Chillicothe, which is a predominantly white area, predominantly white city, I went to school there. They only had one school. So I went to school with predominantly white. I was so behind when I went there. It was unbelievable. And I was a straight A student in Columbus Public. So when I went there, I was behind. And I was so shocked how behind I was as a student. And I didn't have the type of household where, when I lived in Chillicothe, I moved back with my grandparents. And I didn't have the type of home where people pushed you to get good grades. I just wanted them. So I really initially had to work hard to catch myself up to the other students. And, which I ended up, doing just fine. And leaving that, when I left Chillicothe High School, I had enough. I learned so much that, even though I went to college, I didn't finish, but I was so advanced that I was able to go into the workforce and thrive, just based off of what I learned in high school at Chillicothe High School.
Is that
and I think if I'd have stayed here in Columbus, Ohio, Columbus Public, I probably would have been behind, because I was behind when I moved there. Them white folks was working on some major shit, and by the time I graduated from Chillicothe High School, I was working on, trigonometry and calculus.
Okay.
We was behind. Yeah, I was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm a straight A student. I'm going to tell me I don't know what I'm doing. I ain't never seen this. This must be that new math. I was.
Y'all just made this up. Y'all made this up. This ain't no real math.
Unfortunately, and this is another thing that I noticed with a lot of times with teachers and people, like white people, how they look at police officers. I think sometimes in our communities, no matter what, we look at teachers as being right, no matter what, and they have the best interest in your child at heart, and that is not always true. Because when I moved from Columbus to Chillicothe, and those teachers seeing that I was behind, some of them my math teacher kind of laughed at me like I was a dumbass nigger. And I would go up to him and bring him my paper. I never forget this one. He had a bunch of white kids standing around, and everybody was all done with their shit and had it. I did it. And I wasn't going to leave that room until I got this stuff right. So everybody was done. They was all sitting around talking with the teacher, and I kept going to the desk trying to do the problem. And I would hand him the paper, and I'd say, is this right? And he would say, no. So I would go back to my desk, work it again, bring him back, and he said, is this right? And he said, no. Now, he didn't say, let me show you how to do this. He just said, no. And then by my third time I came back, he said no. And then he kind of looked at the other students, and he started to laugh and point like, this dumbass nigga. That's how I felt even then. And I was only in 7th grade. Went back to my desk on that 4th time, I got it. And when I started back to him and I said, is this right? He looked at me, and he was like, I'll be damned. Yeah, you got it. But he dismissed me early on as being a dumb N-word. Dumb nigga. That's how he treated me, and that was my teacher.
Not right, but I mean, that's racism. Basically, you experience racism.
Mm-hmm. That's just what it was.
Good old American kind. Ain't no racism like American racism, because American racism is the best. Shit.
And it don't stop in school.
You're right about that.
It doesn't stop just because you send your children to school. It don't stop at the school. And just because a teacher may be a white person or even a black person, may be a teacher, you still have to pay attention and be, like you say, active in your children's life with their schooling, because some of these teachers, like my cousin, her daughter brought home a B paper from school one day. B student. One day she looked at the paper and she's like, let me read through this. She said that shit was an F paper all day.
Oh, man, listen.
Day.
I make a habit, especially because you got to be careful in how they grade nowadays, because what a lot of people don't understand is that our teachers have to teach towards a test. And because they have to teach towards a test, they're not really focused on a lot of the stuff that we used to get, a lot of the foundational work. So I tell parents all the time, listen, don't be concerned about the grades, because a lot of times the way some of y'all act when y'all come up in here, because some of these parents whole self-esteem is based on the grades that their children get. So sometimes it's easier to just give a child a grade rather than argue with the parent so that you can get the child the help that they need. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy.
This was not helping her daughter because she gave her a B and she said that shit was horrible. She went back to the teacher and she said, "This is not a B paper. Don't grade my daughter's paper wrong. I mean, why would you even give her a B on this?" And she told her, "Well, that's the best that these students can do."
Wow. Now, see, for me, what I do when my kids were in school, I wouldn't go back to the teacher. I minimize my communication with the teachers, especially once my kids get to be around 11 and 12. And I solely focus on the kids. My thing is, you going to school, you sitting in that classroom, you're my filter. And I expect for them to do things at a certain level. I would have made my daughter rewrite that paper. I would have graded it, and I would have said, change this, change that. Because I would have been focused on the learning, like Hatim said, not the grade. Mm-hmm. And so I would have just made them redo it and say, you're going to do this on a certain level. I'm not concerned about the grade. The grade is the grade. I'm concerned about the learning.
And so the reason my kids, I love my kids being in school is social interaction, because I understand that so much of what we call success is in how you know how to deal with people. If I isolate my children, they're not going to know how to deal with people. You know what I'm saying? I got into college because I had okay grades, but yet I knew how to socialize. I knew how to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and I knew how to work. You know what I'm saying? Not because I was the best student, but, that shit got me a full ride. And I'm sitting up here like, yo, I go to the teacher, well, she's struggling with that. I said, how is she with other students? How is she with you? You know what I'm saying? Boom, I want to know these type of things, because a lot of this stuff my child is going to pick up, because if she see me writing, they see my blog, they see me on here talking all the time, they see me reading, they hear me listening to books, they be in the car with me and listening to YouTube, and I know they're getting tired of, so they see me consistently learning. There's no way that they're not going to leave me and not be learners. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my lifestyle exhibits to them what I demand from them. I'm not going to jump on you about a grade, but if I see that you're not trying, we got a problem, baby. We got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know you capable of it, because you've been listening to NPR your whole goddamn life. So you might know more. You might know more than a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know what I'm saying? But shit, we've been on here long, and I mean,
I'm about to get on here.
Family.
Oh, wow. Flowers.
Family. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly before y'all hang up. Well, according to the clock on Uber conference, we've been up here 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
But according to Spreaker, we have been on 3 hours and 7 minutes, and this has been the best 3 hours and 7 minutes that I have spent. So hopefully this is a sign of what's to come in the future for us, family, doing some healthy building. I want to thank everybody that participated. I want to thank, because I know a lot of people are not going to listen to it now because it's 3 hours long. So, but I mean, those that do take the time, those that have tuned in temporarily, those that checked out at hour 1 or whatever, I want to thank everybody. You know what I'm saying? And also, I would encourage everybody to go and listen to Shaka's concert last night. It was a marvelous, beautiful thing. And I'm going to get up in here and clean up the house. My kids, we're going to get ravioli. So I'm going to go get me some fresh baked ravioli, which can be sold at our market. We get the right hookup. And boil that and get some spaghetti sauce ready with some, what's the red oil called? Palm oil. So I can make it culturally appropriate. Throw me some greens up in there for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So family, I want to say thank you for joining us on the journey. And I am out. Let me call my mama and these other people back. Peace. Y'all take it easy.
Okay. Good night, guys. Well, it's night for me. Good night.
Peace. Cleveland.